What's up, everybody? That's right. If you missed the last video, you missed my face reveal. Anyway, I think it's been too long. I think it's time for a little bit of Higurashi. Wait has been way too long. Seventh expansion. Manga Gamer. I miss that sound. Let's continue. I forget where we left off. Refresh myself a little bit. Tamataki-san died, and Tomito, is that her name? They both died last time. She got stuffed in an oil drum and she got lit on fire, and Tamataki-san got, I think he clawed out his throat again, but I don't know. Very sad. It's always sad when he dies. Is my favorite. And then we met Shino. It's been so long, I forget everybody's names. I'll remember them as soon as I get back into the game. Let's get back in right now. Actually, how about that? There's no way I'd be able to sleep. When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who was the only ally who would support me he was. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. Shion. I remember them now, okay. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter how long I waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it. I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Like a teddy bear? Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. You know what I just realized? Can I move it later? Or no, I don't think I can, actually. Fuck, dude. Okay, hold on. I gotta have to fucking start this shit over again. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. It's gay. Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me. Damn it! This is no time for sleep, Keiichi Maebara! I slapped myself in the face a few times. Then, I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I usually didn't do, because I'm fucking musty as shit. That wasn't enough either, so I even brushed my teeth, which I also don't normally do. After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mom saw how strange I was acting, her eyes went wide. What's wrong, Keiichi? Are you going somewhere today? Going somewhere? Yeah. To school. Okay.
Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good today. Do you have a cold?
I do actually have a cold right now. I'm not sick. I just didn't get much sleep. I also didn't get much sleep. If I space out and start talking nonsense, just humor me. Okay.
I wonder what kind of nonsense you'll say, I wonder. Now I'm looking forward to it. How?
I felt utterly shattered, and I still hadn't picked myself back up this morning, and for precisely that reason, Rina's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes. Yo, what's up, Kei-chan? Rina, good morning. What's up, Mion?
What? Mi-chan, you look like you didn't get much sleep either.
Mion had gone home early yesterday with a hangover, But she didn't look too good this morning either. Hangover? Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot that she drinks because she's like 14 and cool or whatever. Yeah, I went to bed like 3. I went to bed at like 3. I'm a little tired. 3? Hey now, you can't keep staying up late like that, bro. Jesus Christ. You probably read the first volume of a manga, thought it was interesting, then read the entire series, didn't you? I understand. I've done that before. I joked, trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was trying to be considerate. However, neither Mia nor Rena smiled, and in fact, they didn't even pay attention. Rena's expression immediately darkened.
What? Wait, is it about the mayor? He still hasn't been found?
Wait, what? Nope. Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You can't find the mayor? Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today.
Good morning, Cage-san. Have you heard? It looks like something terrible has happened.
I don't really know this mayor person, but he's an old guy, right? Couldn't he just be wandering around senile? Don't be a jerk, Keiichi.
The mayor is certainly not senile. He's a sprightly man who can teach both calligraphy and swordsmanship. He probably got lost somewhere, like me.
What do you mean, like you?
I lost Rika. I want to take you home with me.
Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika-chan do it. What? A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest. It's not fucking moe when a girl gets lost. What? That's creepy. While my mind entered to dumb thoughts like that, our teacher arrived. You are dumb, fucking piece of shit, motherfucker. Everyone rushed to their seats.
Good morning, everyone.
Ohio! The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Some of you may have already heard, but last night, despite the late hour, the mayor never came home. Is there anyone here who saw the mayor yesterday? One or two hands went up in silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be of vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst themselves. If anyone has seen the mayor.
If anyone has seen the mayor, please tell an adult about it, all right? Now then, let's begin class.
After that, the same old lessons began. Ring ding ding. The rumors once quieted blossomed in flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came up with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine's Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after the sun had finally set and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late and Hinamizawa didn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Because he was hungry? This is about the festival, right? Wouldn't he not have been like eating fucking a ton of food at the festival? Isn't that the whole fucking point of the festival? Yeah, whatever. However, no matter how long his family waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from their irrigation channels to the water wells and even in the rice paddies, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. The police were going to wait for daylight, then have the young men of the town help search. If after all that they still didn't find him, they were apparently even going to go looking in the mountains. Not the mountains! Even then, at this moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, and the more time passed, the only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumors of Onikakushi of the demoning away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to the Oroshiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring each year? That scary possibility, which everybody thought about, but nobody could say aloud, was slowly but surely spreading throughout the village. He was demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oroshiro-sama's anger. And my classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. Didn't happen this year. What are you talking about? Aren't 2 people already dead? I, on the other hand, I knew. The curse did happen again this year, and there were 2 people that died. This may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I should have been a higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot into the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomataki-san and Takano-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been mine and Shion's turn next. This time should have been Shion and me, eh? I laughed painfully to myself. I yelled at Shion over the phone. I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the first to go. Onikafuchi, the bottomless swamp, said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe police divers were plumbing in depths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onikafuchi, but not once have they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish, bottomless swamp from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friend that in the classroom.
Now that you mention it, Satoshi-san, he left around this time last year, didn't he?
Oh, Satoshi-san. Oh, shit. Wait, yeah. Hold on. Satoshi-san is Satoko's older brother, who also disappeared. Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was... Right, he disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly.
Didn't we search the whole village like this for Satoshi-san, too? We didn't find him either. What did we decide that was? A demoning away, right? Yeah, I heard we withdrew all of his savings and ran away from home. Someone from the police said there was someone who saw him get on the bullet train in Nagoya Station.
Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in this reason, which seemed understandable in that case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons, too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. Pretty good reason. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason. But they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reason behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything. Well, to be fair, I don't think any of them really had a clear reasoning for it. I think people just gave a reason behind it. Besides maybe the one where, like, Satoko's parents fell off the ledge, you know what I mean? And they fell into the river, and then they just disappeared that way. That one might be the only one that had, like, a clear reason behind it, but the other ones don't really have any reason for it. I mean, like, you're just literally talking about Satoshi, weren't you? He literally left for no reason. Other than, well, we know the reason, that he was fucking scared, or whatever, for his life, and thinking that everybody was out to kill him. But, I mean, like, I don't think any of them have, like, a reason for why they disappeared. Anyway. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything.
It looks like I messed up the seasoning today. Yeah, sorry.
Normally, Rena would have devoured her lunch immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though.
That isn't the case. Your lunch today is delicious as always.
Satoko dips her chopsticks in Rena's bento box and pulls out bits of food out one after the other.
Yes, delicious indeed. Today in particular, in fact. Chomp chomp. Huh? You know those are pumpkin croquets, right? Are you okay? Yeah, yes. If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious.
They get a bite of that pumpkin, Rena. Only your pumpkin, though. Did Satoko dislike pumpkin? Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Satoko kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. If it's that good, then I guess I'll have to give... Then I've got to have some too. Satoko's going to eat all of it if we had let her. Whatever, I'm not reading that again.
It's just so good. I would certainly like it if Keiichi-san were to eat some as well.
Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, don't I? Right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for the both of us today. Alarm is going off on my phone. Fuck you, Keiichi.
Fua!
She really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face.
No way! You'll never grow up if...
Oh, no way. You'll never grow up if you give away such good food. Rita, you eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight.
Yeah! The taiko radish has such a pretty color going through it. It looks delicious. I guess I'll have some then.
Rena reached out with her chopsticks, and at last the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. That was only at our desks, however. The dark tales of Oroshiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in this somber mood. Oroshiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. I don't know. Everyone had waited the previous year to be the last. What was Oroshiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? Wait, is that why the mayor? Is that why the mayor got? Did he try to reinstate the dam project? Could be. I hit myself in the cheeks to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood. I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced the grim story out of my head. Driving Oroshiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target. Bum, bum, bum. Mion's taken a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash your hands? Mion had said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet.
She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was pretty late last night looking for the mayor after all.
I smiled wryly and let out a sigh. How do you smile wryly? Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. It was just a no-good day. I had just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginable big one. Maybe I do need to appreciate that.
When Michan was really little, the mayor would always spoil her. When she was going through her prankster phase, he loved her like his own daughter. She told me that often.
I see. Mian was in shock too. Sad, man. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew, though, then the shock must have been 100 times worse. No kidding. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward.
Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while, too. Maybe they're taking a nice afternoon nap together. Rika wasn't out late. As soon as she yawned, everyone gathered around her and started saying, "Good night, good night."
Now that she mentioned it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival, too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that? Is there a reason the old people treat Rika-chan like an idol? What do you fucking think, bro? She's a fucking... She, like, works out of, like, a fucking... I don't know what the term would be. Shrine maiden? She works at, like a religious temple, right? Is she their ideal image of a granddaughter or something? Yeah, it could be that too, I guess.
I don't know anything about that, but I see Rika-chan yawning. It's probably all like, I want to take her home.
Wow.
I don't personally think that is cute.
Me neither.
It's more of a gwa, and she opens her mouth really wide so you can see the back of her throat. her throat! The thing in her throat, all wobbly, how?
Rena's handy at times like these. I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh, right. I'm on my day duty today, aren't I? I need to go water the flower garden. The garden is right outside the teacher's lounge, too, so they can immediately tell if you don't do it, right?
I think that Sadako-chan is cute, not only Rika-chan. Ooh, Villa. Can't breathe.
She's fucking choking her out.
I got a glimpse. It was so cute. Sadako-chan is cute, too. I'm going to take you home.
Have you guys seen the new Primate movie? I watched that just a couple months ago when that came out. The movie's fucking stupid. It's really dumb, but it's about like a fucking rabid monkey that kills people. And I don't know, it should have been fucking killing more people. It was really fucking boring. But there's fucking scene where the fucking monkey is like putting his like hands into people's mouth and he's like ripping their jaw off. That's kind of what I'm imagining she's doing right now. That, yeah, just, you know. Rina was squeezing her hands around Satoko's neck and was trying to get a look at her throat. Just fucking giving her the old Bart Simpson. Or Homer Simpson to Bart, you know what I mean. What is this? You know, Rina is, I can't see it out loud, but she's a notorious beep. Isn't she sweet? Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the classroom had erupted into laughter too. Maybe Rina was doing it on purpose. Even if she hadn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, yeah, okay. I guess we're done with that. Let's get over to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside. My God, the watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture to appreciation. But, well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around, went all over the place. It was so big, one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also thankfully on duty today. She was in the lowest grade, though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. For this, if one was placed on duty today with someone like who... Wait, for this, if one was placed on duty with someone who someone one liked. What? Placed on duty with someone one liked. They'd do it all for you, so it'd be cake. No point in blaming her. I give up. I'll just get started. Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Water that too, would you? Oh, you mean the curry vegetable garden? The one with the potatoes and carrots and other things that are only ingredients for curry? It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher, but making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. Also, you don't want her to fucking overwater it, right? I couldn't say that to his face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. What a pussy. The sunlight out front was strong. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. I passed by the classroom, and I don't know how it happened, but Rina and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee. While I was gone, the kids had arranged all the desks in a circle, forming a ring while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we needed to return to reality, where talk of the elders' disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while they were at school. In that sense, Satoko's whirling elbow and Rina's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight, even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. Ugh, my pencil box! Gah! I'll just let it happen today. I set to work, hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it. No sooner had I thought than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too. That's such a pain, but I have a feeling that it'll come back to bite me if I don't. I gave up, filled the can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. This was a place students didn't like to go. It was already damp here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pillbugs being around. I love slugs and pillbugs. Oh, hi, Rika. So when I ran across her in a place like this, I was surprised. Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Don't scare me like that. Rika-chan was just standing there like a puppet, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika-chan didn't even seem to react to my appearance. Rika-chan? Finally, she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. Dirt? There were blades of grass stuck in her hair, too, and her clothes looked as though she had fallen to the ground. Oh. Rika-chan, are you hurt? Did you fall?
No, that isn't it.
Rika-chan said in the brightest voice she could manage as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal, though. What happened? You weren't sleeping on the storehouse roof and then fell off or anything, did you? You dumb bitch?
Don't worry about me. I have something I want to ask you, Keiichi.
Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. At first, I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized it was so that I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask. I shuddered. What do you want from me? She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me. It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out of my own eyes without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers. I'm a little nervous.
Keiichi, did you do something bad on the night of the festival?
My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawled up my feet, and after growing up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way into my brain.
Keiichi, do you really not remember?
My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Mion asked me. Oshi-san asked me, Shion asked me, and now Rika-chan was asking me. He thought nobody knew, but we did last night. But in fact, everyone knew. What do you mean Shion asked you? You mean Mion asked you? They all knew, and they came to ask me again and again until I admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, don't Tamataki-san and Takano-san's deaths prove it?
Keiichi.
How should I respond? We never should have entered the forbidden storehouse, and even though I regretted it so much, she was saying it wasn't enough. However, I had all but decided what I was going to say. I'm not exactly a good kid, you know. I've done lots of bad things, so I can't remember anything specific. Flips up like the collar on his leather jacket. I'm a bad guy, Rika-chan. I do bad things. I've done a lot of bad things. Just as I had with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me.
I'm sorry for asking you something strange. Please forget about it.
Forgotten, she said, smiling as her usual smile. Then, tap, 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 she went running off as if nothing had happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me. ... Rika-chan? If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. However, she heard it. I was supposed to yell that. Rika-chan swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did. Hey, Rika-chan!
What is it?
If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening, had I done something that wrong? I already know you did something wrong. I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked away. I didn't break anything or steal anything. You broke in to something, and you stole secrets. I don't know. Really? I didn't do it! Still, Tamataki-san and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive only me. ... Rika-chan cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. Like that. If I were to admit what happened that night, though, she might suddenly do a 180 as if flipping a switch. That would make sense. Rika-chan was the shrine maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling Mion or Oshi-san? ... Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? Just fucking say it, dude. She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Beibara! Say it! If you really are sorry, then you should say so! Of course, it's normal to hesitate given the crazy way Tamataki-san and Takano-san died. A pulping machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it turned into a big droplets of sweat began to fall.
Keiichi.
Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head.
I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi.
I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little bit so that Rika-chan's palm could reach it. She petted me, kind of like one would a cat.
Do you know about the big storehouse a little way behind the shrine grounds? It stores the implements we use for rituals.
My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in a coercive way at all.
Apparently, on the night of the festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse.
I'm the kitty cat.
Meow.
A cat?
Yes, a cat. Meow meow.
Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me. The cat always wanted to explore inside
the storehouse, but I was mean to it and never let it go inside. So on the night of the festival, The cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and it went inside.
The cat. It was clearly supposed to be Takano-san. Or wait, was it supposed to be me? I think it's supposed to be people in general, bro.
Inside, there were actually lots of things that scared the cat.
Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me. The cat was both
terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, clatter, shiver, shiver, meow, meow. It was terrible.
This cat, who are you saying it was?
The cat is a cat. Meow, meow.
Rika-chan still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me. Rika-chan, please tell me. The cat, what should it do now? Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat.
The cat is just a cat, so just keep meowing and everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine? That's stupid!
Shouldn't it just keep meowing?
Jeez, Rika-chan and I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. No shit, bro. I've been reading that. I didn't say it directly, but I had already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now, that's enough. I can't just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside.
The dog?
That's right. It was the dog. It keeps coming to the cat and trying to get it to say that it snuck inside. After I said that, Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika-chan! The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned.
It's all right. I'll protect the cat.
Aw. Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard those words so dependable they were.
The cat is really scared, but it really isn't all that bad. I think all the dogs are just misunderstanding.
Yeah? It's not all that bad?
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure.
Rika-chan will do something about it. I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable. It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Go for it! Yay! Oh, that was her. She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said that the cat could just keep meowing.
Meow, 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 meow.
She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing? Will you really be alright, Rika-chan?
If I don't do my best...
Oh, why am I putting a fucking southern draw on that, dude?
If I don't do my best, something bad could happen to the dogs, too.
I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. However, one thing I didn't know was to not worry and leave it to her. He just immediately forgot what dog meant. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head, and smiled. I was so moved by the reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry. I'm sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. I didn't think any of this would...
It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why it should never have seen the storehouse.
She was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look in the first place, wasn't it? Rika-chan, what will happen to the cat? Two of the cats that had snuck in, well, that night they... I heard Tamatake-san and Takano-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it. Tamatake-san and Takano? I gave a start at the sudden mention of actual names. You did one of those. Though it's weird to do this at this point.
You should forget about them.
I'm not doing that, bro. Boop! My spine froze again. Forget?
Yes. It won't do you any good to remember those two, Keiichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get. So you should forget about them as soon as possible.
She said something so enormously terrifying without letting the smile on her face waver at all. I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrubbed bathtub. Forget? Rika-chan, you know, don't you? You know how those two died?
No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi.
Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me, so forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, and even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took another dimension. Don't get involved with her deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. What about Shion? What'll happen to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point. No shit, bro. If she can, protect you, you should try and get Shion in on that deal. I don't know how she can protect you, though, but...
The younger of the sister cats? Meow meow.
Yeah. The little sister cat. Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even in this momentary silence. The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad. The big sister cat. That could only mean Neon. I recall being questioned by her yesterday.
Keiichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while.
Not in a good mood? Those words sent a shiver through me. What doesn't send a shiver through you, bro? Neon was mad. She was mad that we entered the ritual storehouse.
Let's stop having club from now on.
Huh? Why? What? You want to have club?
I think we should leave her alone.
Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Maebara? Don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing.
Meow, meow, meow.
I'll forget everything like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano-san and Tamatake-san and what I did that night. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break. I guess we should go back to class.
Keiichi?
As if she had noticed how miserable I was about to leave everything to her and flee in the scene, Rika-chan called out to stop me.
If the misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat, please tell me, okay?
The misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute-sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog?
The dog that bit the mayor. I don't know why it did that. If it was going to bite anyone, it would have been the trickster cat first.
The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika-chan had admitted it. The sacrifices of that terrible calamity. She admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. This, I didn't know what was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of the horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true.
I'm sorry. The cat is already scared, and I said something to scare it even more. I'm really sorry.
Rika-chan bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right as I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached out her hand to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking. ... I'm so... Rika-chan made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again. That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities that day, so she suggested we don't bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Rina and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remember Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was. Same as it ever was. Wow. What a chapter, huh? You know, the thing that I kind of worry about now with Rika... Oh, is this not the end of the chapter? No, I guess it's not. The thing I kind of worry about with Rika now is that, like, because she's, like, saying that she'll help me, does that mean that she's now going to be marked by the curse or whatever? Because, like, last time, the thing that, like, got Keiichi killed was because he started asking questions, which made the curse deem him as an enemy to the town. And is Rika going to go through the same thing because she's now helping somebody who's already considered an enemy of Urashiro or whatever? It might be. I have to pee and I will be right back. I'm back. Made myself a drink. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed to the futon in my bed and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts. I told Rika-chan anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I looked back on it, the less I understood what Rika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Takano-san and Tamatake-san's death, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. Like she isn't concerned. I didn't know. She didn't seem all that concerned, actually. After all this time in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika-chan's sweet smile and told her things I shouldn't have? I should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and it colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly, a knock. Gonk, gonk, gonk. I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was. Yarr!
Keiichi! Keiichi! I've been calling for your name for a while. You have a phone call. It's from Tanizaki-san.
It was Dad. Fuck! Every time, dude. Every time. I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. Sonozaki-san, which one? The older sister or the younger sister?
I don't know. Ask her yourself.
I took the receiver and buried myself in my futon again. Hello? Mion? Or is it Shion?
It's me. Shion. Good evening.
I'm doubtful. It's Shion. I practically jumped out of bed. It was Shion who It was Shion who I hoped so desperately would call me back last night. Shion, sorry about last night. I got all riled up. ... I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other end. You and me are in the same position, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything like that. I'm sorry, so please cheer up.
I called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop apologizing.
Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment she said she'd forgive me. You're right, too. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other is alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety.
Yeah, I agree.
We absolutely need to share whatever information we have, so that we don't die like Takano-san and Tamatake-san did. Gulp! I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. What's this gulp mean, bro? Then let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right? How fucking stupid is Keiichi, dude? Dude, anybody could fucking tell him that that they're Shion or whatever, and he would just fucking agree, bro. This is how do you not even consider this? Why can't you be like, let's meet up or something? so I can see who you really are. Even though I know Mion and Shion look the same, but I mean, like, they act a little differently, so you could probably pick it up that way. So I don't fucking get this. How is he this fucking stupid? Oh my god. Yeah, anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Firstly, it seems sneaking into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. You already set your fucking grave, bro. Takano-san and Tamatake-san's miserable ends, terrible enough that you could call them a warning. They were more than enough to make me believe that. The culprits killed those two, the ones responsible for sullying the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know you want to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you've disappeared, okay?
I got it. You can never be too careful after all.
I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at that museum of torture devices deserves a death like that, I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they would not be forgiven. Let's report anything we notice that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then we just maybe will find out who killed them, or maybe even the truth behind the incidents of the previous years. We could find the key that'll resolve everything.
You're right. You're right about that.
All I was doing was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being. Then I'll start, since I suggested it. I feel like someone has been watching me lately. Oh, it's her.
Then I'll start, since I suggested it. I feel like somebody has been watching me lately.
What?
It might be in my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway.
Wait. Yeah, okay.
It might be in my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kei-chan, then maybe it's not just my imagination.
Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's been fine for me. I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine.
I see. And I suppose it was my imagination. But you be careful too, Kei-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm in Okinomiya, so I won't be alone very often, but you live in Hinamizawa. There will be a lot of times you'll be alone. Please be extra careful.
You're right. Yeah, I'll be careful.
Also, about my sister. Has she been acting strange lately?
Your sister? Oh, Mion, right? What do you mean by acting strangely?
Well, yesterday, she came to me and asked me where I was that night of the Watanagashi.
Is that a slip-up? Might be.
Well, yesterday, she came to me and asked me where I was on the night of the Watanagashi.
What? She asked me too! The day before yesterday, I think Mion asked me.
I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say?
I did the same. I just dodged the question. Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief.
Ever since the night of the festival, my sister has been acting strangely. We can't be too careful, so just be aware, okay?
Mion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of the Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary, at least from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe if it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice. Got it. I'll start being careful. I'll always have Rina with me on my way back from school, so I shouldn't end up alone with Mion very often.
Please be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me.
All right. I feel like there's no fucking way that's Shion. That had to be Mion, dude. Or it has to be Mion. She's still talking.
Okay. Then is there anything you want to tell me, Kei-chan?
My turn. That's right. Maybe I should report on Oshi-san's asking me the same question at the library. Or you should tell her... No, don't tell her anything. Don't tell her anything more. Just hang up the fucking phone, dude. Tell her to go fuck herself. Oh, that time when you were too slow to escape?
Oh, that time when you were too slow to escape?
Yeah. Oshi-san asked me pretty forcefully whether I was with Takano-san or Tamatake-san that night and whether I had seen you. Oshi-san seemed to have seen the four of us together.
From the police point of view, that would make us the last people who had seen them. I suppose, given that, it's only natural that they'd be interested in us.
I evaded the questions then, too, but that might have just made them more interested. There was no way I could have tricked That sly old fox Oshi-san. My troubled conscience would have only made him even more certain. Hey, Shion, since they're the police, shouldn't we just tell them? I mean, considering our situation, I think having them on our side would be a good thing. Shion didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it. Now that I think about it, Ochi-san said there was something possibly shady about Mion. At least I think that's what he said. Yeah, he definitely did. As I explained yesterday, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of influence over Hinamizawa. Oshi is under the impression that the whole village, with the Sonozaki family at the center of it all, is responsible for the recurrent freak deaths. The whole village is behind them, with the Sonozaki family at the center? Please don't get angry like you did yesterday and just listen. I hammered the phone before I got too upset. I hammered that home. I thought he meant like he just fucking like bashed the phone while she was on the other end. During the Hinamizawa Dam Wars, the priest who everyone was anticipating to lead the anti-dam movement acted as though he were unrelated. So the Sonozaki main house rose up and took charge. My sister told you about the battles that happened, right? Yeah. All of Hinamizawa got together and fought as one. They held protests, brought it to court, and even appeared on TV. In reality, there were many things that happened that were far more extreme. Under the surface, the Sonozaki main house was doing all sorts of illegal things to oppose it. They were acting illegally? I already know they kill people, dude. For example, they would sneak into the construction site in the middle of the night and steal equipment, or break it, or put sugar in cubes in the gasoline tanks in construction vehicles. Sugar in the gasoline tanks? Why would they? You don't know? It's practically the representative guerrilla tactic. It was used by underground organizations in France in World War II for one. When you put sugar in, the engine gets burned out and breaks down. Yeah, I don't know why they're explaining that, bro. I think everybody knows that. That's pretty bad, though, isn't it? It was destruction of property and nothing less. Dude, they were gonna fucking... They were trying to chase them all out of the fucking village so they could drown the entire place, dude. I think it's fucking them or us at that point. When they beefed up the guards at the construction facility, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there. The government officials who had given permission for the construction, for example, received all kinds of threats, not just people from the prefectural office either. Apparently this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. As far as I've heard, they've even kidnapped a child once. Wow. That's pretty far. I thought they were going to say like they did like beatings or something, but I mean, that's kind of a crazy step. I'm not gonna lie. Kidnapped? Yes. The child of an important person in the Ministry of Construction who was in charge of the Hinamizawa Dam got spirited away. Then one day, all of a sudden, he was rescued in the Takasuda Mountains, which are upstream from Hinamizawa. Apparently, there were never any criminal accusations, but people whispered that it had been a threat to stop the dam construction from happening. Besides that, there are stories about so many different threats that I could possibly list them all. Wow! That's sort of bad, isn't it? Right in the middle of the whole thing, the first incident happened. That's when the dismemberment of the construction manager occurred. People whispered that Sonozaki family had brought out the principal offender, but of course he fled and they still haven't found him. When she put it that way, the Sonozaki family definitely seems suspicious. Why are we running around this tree, bro? The squirrel is already fallen, bro. The dog's already ripped it to shreds. We don't need to be barking up this tree anymore, bro. We know the Sonozakis kill people. Oshi-san even seems to think that the criminal was erased so he wouldn't talk, which is pretty reasonable of him. It's even enough to make me think that the Sonozaki main house is doing some really... This is her, isn't it? It's even enough for me to think that the Sonozaki main house is doing some really shady things behind the scenes, even though I'm related to them. Are you telling me to believe that? That the Sonozaki main house where Mion lives has done all those bad things? You're telling me to believe it? What the fuck do you think? You know they kill people.
Even if you don't, Kei-chan, the villagers do. While they oppose the dam in upright and lawful ways, the Sonozaki house did the dirty work for them. Everyone believes that they fought at the front, so they take the brunt of the criticism. So they're respected as sort of heroes of darkness. ... I think they only really know one part about it. For example, the really bad stuff like the kidnapping. I think only a handful of people even know about it, including Grandma. The Sonozaki family is secretive after all.
Secretive, huh? Family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Sonozaki family, unlike Shion, her older twin Mion, was deeply involved with everything, and that was not a fun thought to entertain. You're probably talking to her still, bro.
My sister, though young, was the one who acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement.
Mion was? What do you mean?
Well, our dad is a big shot Yakuza. Even when she was little, my sister managed to subjugate a bunch of young street rats. Then she played all sorts of tricks on them, and then he just generally got in their way.
Mion did that?
Now she's pretty laid back, so she might be hard to imagine. They put her in charge of everything from property damage to threats and even acts of violence.
It's crazy. Kind of fucked up, too, because she's probably like, what, 10, 12 when she was doing that? Yeah, I don't know.
Though since she was a kid, they could get her released pretty easily. She learned that her age could be used as a weapon.
It may have been indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion. Even back then, she had already been known for her craftiness.
It's nothing to laugh about. Please take this seriously.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Shion had gotten pretty angry at me.
Well, her delinquency soon got her into a position of authority in the Sonozaki main house. It's not unthinkable that Oshi suspects for the dismemberment incidents and the later ones, too.
For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. A younger Mion dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the dam construction project hell. As the successor of the Sonozaki main family, she was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person. Well, back to the main subject. I just wanted you to know
back to the main subject. I just wanted you to know my sister...
Excuse me.
My sister is someone worth being cautious around. Please be careful.
I didn't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the night of the festival, but even that, it wasn't like she said it in a mean way or anything. ... All right. I'll make sure to be careful.
We're sisters related by blood, but within the Sonozaki family, we're basically a different class. I want you to recognize how distant they are from me. Please.
The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I realized I had such a view towards her, Shion was telling me to change it. To be careful around the best friend ever. To doubt her. The idea was very sad and painful. Is Mion really your best friend? I think like Shion's like more of a friend for you now. Especially in this situation. I didn't know that fucking Mion wants you dead. But whatever.
Now about Oshi. If you think he's a good idea, then I think we should give him the information he needs. I think getting the police on our side will work in our favor.
You thought so too, Shion?
It's just, at the moment I explained, the police have their eyes on the Sonozaki family already. Oshi in particular completely believes that they're in the masterminds behind the serial incidents. That includes me, of course. So, I don't really want much to do with Oshi.
I see. If Oshi-san had found out about the Sonozaki family's strife-filled history, then he probably wouldn't be very happy with Shion either. And last, I understood Mion's instinctive dislikes for Oshi-san.
It's probably out in the open at this point, but try not to give my name to him. If you agree to that, then I don't think there's a problem with you telling him anything.
I got it. I won't mention your name.
The police investigation probably should be quite a reliable weapon for us right now. If Oshi tells you anything interesting, then let me know as well.
Yeah, of course. We'll share information and investigate together. Who killed Takano-san and Tamataki-san? Who is after us? Until we know we need to defend ourselves. Anything else?
Oh, anything else besides what Oshi-san told you? I mean, if anything has happened, no matter how minor, please tell me.
Aside from a discussion with Oshi-san. Oh. Should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? No, don't do it. This isn't... You don't know if this is fucking me, if this is Mion or not. Like, this could not be Shion. You could be talking to Mion right now. Don't tell her. Oh, God, he's gonna fucking tell her. He's so stupid. Or on the other hand, if this is Shion, though, he needs to tell her. Right? Now, this would be a difficult situation. But I don't think that this is Mion. Again, they fucking should have met up in person to have this conversation. They really, really should have. They should have met like way far out of Hinamizawa and way far out of, you know, what's the other one? Only, you know, the other town. They should have met like way far away from Hinamizawa. Like that's the only way that they could have really been safe. And even then, you don't really know if it's actually Mion or not. So I don't know. This is a dilemma. Should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. She told me to leave it to her, but what? That's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry.
Nothing else? Kei-chan?
I had remained quiet for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence. As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead.
It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it, so I can ask you something? I just heard this myself. Is it true that old man Kimiyoshi went missing?
The old man Kimiyoshi? My gut told me that was the name of the mayor. What? You know this is the mayor. What are you talking about, bro?
You mean the mayor? Wait, Shion, you haven't heard? I don't know anything. I just overheard my dad talking about it on the phone again.
I realized I shouldn't have said that. Here in Hinamizawa, the things that happened around this time when Urashiro-sama's curse would reoccur, would all be covered up. Yeah, actually, last night after a meeting, he didn't come home, so all of Hinamizawa was confused. They searched all through the village, but if they found him, then I haven't heard. The police should be searching for him as well.
Why didn't you tell me something like that? Important right away!
That was a weird noise. She shouted angrily at me, bringing all her emotion to bear. Sorry, I thought you already knew. I didn't want to hide it or anything. The receiver was silent. Did Shion get mad again and hang up? Hey, Shion? Hello?
Kei-chan. What? What should I do?
Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one yelling a few seconds ago. What's wrong? Tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right? They're going to try to kill her. You know this. You had this conversation last time and you told her that she should die or whatever. Like, oh my god. Shion hesitated for a long while, but then she confessed.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it. It was just that, the conversation got turned around and
we're on the same side, right? I won't get mad, so tell me honestly. Shion still hesitated for a few moments. Then in a resigned voice, she continued.
Old man Kimiyoshi, I told him everything.
Oh, that's why he got, bro. Oh, shit. See, and now fucking Rika might get got too because she fucking told, she knows because Keiichi-san told her. So holy shit. Shion seemed to think I would yell at her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika-chan. So, in as gentle as a voice as I could, so as not to set her off, I responded. Old man Kimiyoshi, he's someone you feel comfortable confiding in, Shion?
Yes, he would. When I was little, he was really nice to me.
This again, just fucking... It's so stupid that fucking Keiichi isn't putting fucking two and two together right now. Fucking Shion told the fucking mayor, and he disappeared right after. They fucking know who everybody is talking to, right? They don't want fucking Shion to keep talking to people, so they probably got her already. Why would they fucking keep her around? She's probably the easiest person to get. They know where she lives already, and she's like the easiest fucking... She's a fucking like running faucet right now with all the fucking information that she's telling everybody. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Keiichi knows that too. He should be fucking more afraid for his life. I don't understand why he's like... He's seen fucking like 3 people die already. He knows that they want to kill fucking Shion, and he's just like barely even cares about it. It's so fucking annoying. Whatever. Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mion, and she continued. Her voice sounded truly sad and pained. All I did was play tricks on him, but he would always just smile. He listened to anything I had to say. He was such a kind person. Calm down, Shion. It's not like he's dead, right? Don't lose heart so easily. Shion didn't answer. Even as I said it myself, I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was alive or dead. Shion must have been thinking the same thing. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the ritual storehouse, also that someone saw us and was out to get us. Does the mayor know how absurdly Takano-san and Tamatake-san died? Yes, he knew about that. I told him that they died by Oroshiro-sama's curse and that I could be made a sacrifice to calm his anger. I just said it straight out. Right. What then? Old man Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled, then told me that if I was properly sorry about it, there was no way I'd be demoned away. He was really smiling, and he told me to leave it to him. Until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find any words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, nor that what Shion's relationship with him was like. Words of comfort, however, mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. If someone who gave me such a sense of security were to disappear, then I could guess what kind of shock Shion was in. It's my fault. Because I revealed everything. Shh, Pablo. Stop it, Shion. It's not your fault. No! It's my fault! I told him everything! The old man Kimiyoshi found out about everything, so he has to been killed. It was right after I told him, after all. He disappeared the same night that I confessed, and he told me everything was going to be alright. He found out. So he became involved. I should never have told him. All of this should have just been our fault. Only the 4 of us. It wasn't something I should have told to someone else. He got killed because I told him. He got killed because he knew. He got killed because I revealed it. Hey, stop! If we're doing that, then they would obviously have killed you before killing the mayor. The order is all wrong. You or I should have been killed first. Why the hell would someone else get killed first? No, it's in order. They must have been planning to kill us last of all. Ha! What? What? They're not killing the first people who came to mind. They start by killing those who we're close to, and then after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. I said calm down. Shion, you're in shock. You're panicking. The mayor's disappearance has nothing to do with you. It's unconnected. It's not related to Takano-san and Tamatake-san dying at all either. My words came out as a scream, as if I were shouting at them myself. No, it's all connected. It just has to be. I told him so he was killed. He got killed because he knew. I confessed it to him. So he got killed. She repeated the same thing as before, as though she were in a delirium. Despite my trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason, the shadow at my feet began to freeze. From that shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me and grab my ankle. The heat generated by my body, the arm was absorbing it. It was a horrible chill. A freezing cold, numbing frigid. It was inviolable. It was an inviolable chill of fear. Though I sympathized with Shion, I had been naive in thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything. So he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra, and finally, those even repetitious took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already overtaken me turned into a violent shiver that shot up my spine. All that just to say I had a chill run down my spine.
Rika-chan! It's Rika-chan! What? What did you say just now? Well, the truth is, I told her about it. I told Rika-chan. Today. Rika-chan, you mean Rika-chama? The one from the Furude Shrine? Yes, Rika-chan. I felt so scared and uneasy that I did it. I told Rika-chan. Well, to be fair, she already fucking knew. But whatever, I guess you told her. When you did, what did she say? The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. That's what Rika-chan said, and then she smiled. She smiled just like the missing mayor had when she encouraged Shion. I'm sorry, Shion. I'm a bit worried about Rika-chan. Right. If you're that concerned, then don't worry about me. Please go find out whether she's safe. See that? Snap right back. She's fucking Mion. 100%. She was fucking panicking before, but... Yeah, I'll do that! I'll call you again tomorrow at the same time. When I do, you'll know I'm still alright. Now she's checking in on him daily, so she'll know where he is at all times. See? I got it. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Sorry. I'm hanging up now. I put down the receiver without waiting for Shion to say goodbye. The danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point. My sixth sense was blaring alarms in my head. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely bad. Damn it, please be safe, Rika-chan! Fade to black. End of the chapter. How fucking stupid is fucking Keiichi-san, dude? I know it, like, kind of seems like that was Shion because she was, like, acting in a certain way. But, I mean, like, fucking Mion already knows all this shit, and she has, like, every reason to, like, make fucking Keiichi believe that it's Shion and not Mion, right? I mean, she's already fucking done this. She's already acted like Shion when she's actually Mion. Like, why does this not go through his fucking head? Why does he think the Sonozakis are good, bro? He's fucking... Oh my god, he knows that they're bad. He knows they kill people. Oshi-san already fucking told him. Also Shion already told him. Oh my god. This fucking pisses me off, dude. I'm gonna do one more chapter. After hanging up on Shion, I searched for Rika-chan's phone number on my school contact list. There it is! My fingers trembled with urgency as I failed multiple times to put in the simple 5-digit number.
Keiichi, are you calling someone at this hour? It's late and it's been rude to the other person.
That doesn't matter right now. I shouted angrily at my mother, listening to the dial tone. Pick up, come on, pick up! The time was 11 p.m. It certainly wasn't early. It was essentially the middle of the night. Had Rika-chan already gone to bed? Her phone would be ringing constantly, though, so would she get back up for me? Rika-chan didn't pick up. She didn't pick up. She didn't pick up! Maybe she just happened to miss it. Maybe her bed was just too far away for the phone. The sound of a phone ringing gets clearer and clearer the longer you go on sleeping. Then, the bathroom? Yeah, she must be taking a bath. If that was the case, then even if she heard the phone, she wouldn't be able to pick up. It was a little late to be taking a bath, but it was possibly She normally took baths right before going to bed. I'll wait 30 minutes and I'll try calling again. Or she's fucking dead. Thank you, Pablo. Even as I was thinking about it, I called her house over and over again. I kept calling. Over and over again, I kept calling her, but she didn't pick up even once. I think I kept trying for about 30 minutes. Yet, she wasn't picking up. She's dead. They murked her. Were my phone calls so persistent that she had gotten scared of picking up the receiver? No, that couldn't possibly be it. If I thought that my friend could have fucking got, or could potentially be killed by fucking mafia members or whatever, and I called her and she wasn't fucking picking up, I would go to her house immediately. I wouldn't fucking wait 30 minutes. Right? Am I stupid for saying that? Or I'd call the police or something. I'd do fucking anything. This is stupid, bro. Why is he just waiting around? No, that couldn't possibly be it. There was no point doing this any longer. The best thing to do would be to go there in person. See? Where was Rika-chan's house, though? Shit, I never even asked where she lived. She lives at the shrine! You do know this! Her residence was written there in a contact list, but it was addressed with mostly numbers, so I couldn't tell her it was just by reading. You know where they live, bro. They both live at the... Both Satoko and Rika live at the shrine. You fucking know this, dude. Are you not their friends? I thought you went there already. Is there a map or something in here? Rika Furude. Her last name was Furude. It's a bit of an odd last name, so it might be easy to find. She lives at the Furude Shrine. Why am I reading this? It's so fucking pointless. Thinking that, I rummaged around the drawer with a phone book, but could only find things like takeout menus and phone numbers for public establishments. Shit! 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 I tore one thing after another out of the drawer, but I didn't come up with any clues to Rika-chan's house was. Pablo. What do you hear, bro? He's like fucking like every time I'd say his name, he's like looking at me like he's like, "What are you looking at, bro? I'm protecting the house, bro." Okay, let's see. I tore one thing after another out of the drawer, but I didn't come up with any clues as to where Rika-chan's house was. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. If you don't know, then just ask. Ask someone who does know. The whole town knows that they want to fucking kill you, bro. Oh, that's it. Rina's gotta know. I looked up Rina's phone number on the contact list. Rina Rugu. There she was. Hello? Oh.
Hello? This is Rugu.
It was the voice of a grumpy sounding grumpy sounding man. It must have been Rina's father. I am calling in the middle of the night. I need to be polite. I'm sorry for calling so late at night. This is Maebara. Is there any chance Rina-san is around?
Reina's taking a bath. Oh, she's done? Reina, there's a friend of yours on the phone.
Oh, right. Reina Rugu was her real name, wasn't it? I've gotten so used to calling her Rina that hearing her real name caught me a little off guard.
Hello? This is Rina.
It's me, Keiichi. Sorry for calling so late.
Huh? Keiichi-kun, what do you need at a time like this? Like this?
Well, actually, I wanted to know... excuse me. Well, actually, I wanted to know where Rika-chan's house is. Rina seemed a little appalled that I'd call her for something like that at this hour. However, she spoke her next words seriously as she caught on her how urgent my need was.
Okay. Sure. You know the assembly hall on the grounds of the Furude Shrine? There's a 2-story shack used for storage behind it. That's where she lives.
Again, we already knew this. I don't know why they're telling me again. I couldn't immediately visualize the place, but as long as I knew she lived on the shrine grounds, I'd just have to take a look around. Got it! Thanks! Sorry again for calling so late. Apologize to your dad for me, would you?
Okay, but Keiichi-kun, why do you want to know where Rika-chan lives?
Rina asked in a usually sharp way, halting me before I could hang up the phone. I hesitated for a moment about whether or not to tell her.
He was killed because I told him.
Keiichi-kun, if you're still listening, could you answer me? Why are you asking where Rika-chan lives at a time like this?
Rena affected her usual tone, but beneath her words lay a certain tension, like she'd intuitively sensed something was wrong. What will you do, Keiichi? If it's Rena, can't I tell her?
He was killed because he found out. I revealed everything, so he was killed.
Keiichi-kun, Rena is being serious. Please answer me.
Rena asked me once again in a tone so forceful I couldn't imagine her even using it normally. I was taken aback by her vigor. Rena and Rika-chan's friend, too. Rena was Rika-chan's friend, too. She had the right to be concerned about Rika-chan's disappearing. If I told Rena then, even if only for a moment, I could drive away my horrifying fears. Rena, well, I can't exactly tell you why, but...
Yes?
Rena's tone was seriousness itself. It was seriousness itself. Just from that tone, I could feel her saying,
No matter what you say, Keiichi-kun, I'll believe you.
That subtle sense of security gave me the courage to reveal the truth. I have a feeling that Rika-chan is in danger.
You mean like a premonition? Or do you have some reason to believe that she's in danger?
I really don't have time to go back and forth with Rena about this. Still, I think listening to her calm voice soothed my pointless impatience. I don't have much reason, but... Yet I still hesitated. I had told Rika-chan that we had snuck into the ritual storehouse. The mayor, to whom Shion had confessed before that, had already disappeared, so it was possible that Rika-chan also... I didn't know how to explain it to Rena. While I was tongue-tied, Rena spoke up.
Sorry for asking something so weird. I thought about it and it wasn't like you need to be sure.
Rena laughed a little, seeming to be absent-minded. I wasn't exactly in the mood to laugh, so this time I was dumbfounded. Rena continued to be cheerful, yet still purposeful voice.
You're worried about a friend. I don't think you need a reason to go and check on them.
Even if Rika-chan was asleep, you ended up waking her up. Oh,
Even if Rika-chan was asleep, you ended up waking her up. If that was why you did it, then none of us would get mad.
Rena, thank you.
Okay then, Keiichi, just one thing. You called Rika-chan's house, right? Then you just couldn't get through. So that's why you asked me where her house is.
Yeah, that's right. I must have called her for over 10 minutes. She could just be sleeping and not have noticed.
Rika-chan's house is really small. She would definitely hear the phone ringing if she was asleep. Sadako-chan is there too, so there's no way neither of them would notice.
Huh? Sadako-chan, you mean she's living with Rika-chan? Does he not already know this? I know like the timeline reset, but I'm pretty sure he already fucking knows this, right? Am I just stupid? Does he not know any of this? I'm pretty sure he knows this. I mean, didn't they fucking tell him during the festival?
Yeah, you didn't know? Well, we can't talk about that later. Anyway, if you called that much and no one answered, then something's definitely wrong.
Rita understood that the situation was a normal far faster than I could have ever imagined her to. It made her seem dependable. However, the fact that Rita had acknowledged this also meant that the best case possibility of it all just being the result of my own needless fears went out the window. I'll go to Rika-chan's house right now. Will you come with me? I can show you the way. Oh,
I'll go to Rika-chan's house right now. Will you come with me? I can show you the way.
sounds good. Let's meet up at the place as usual. I'll be waiting for you.
No, wait. I'll come get you at your house. You just wait there. You just wait there and tell your family you're coming with me to Rika-chan's house, okay?
I don't know about that. See, we know that she's in on it. I know. Almost called him Shinji. Keiichi-chan doesn't know that. But she might be coming over just to kill us. Just a little bit. Little bit of a theory right there, but I think she's coming over to kill us. We know too much.
Will that be okay? You might lose time if you come here.
Oh, will that be okay? We might lose time if you come here.
Did you call Mi-chan too? She's really dependable at times like these. If you haven't, then I'll give her a call.
No, don't! My thoughts froze for a moment. Shion had just told me to be careful around Mion during our phone conversation a little while ago. If the Sonozaki main house was somehow lurking behind the surface of the annual freak deaths, then the current heir to the family, Mion, wouldn't be uninvolved. So wouldn't that mean she wasn't uninvolved in what happened this year to Takano-san and Tamatake-san and also the mayor's disappearance?
Okay, bye. I'll be right over. Wait for me.
That's all Rena said before hurriedly hanging up. Now wasn't the time to be doubting Mion. Shinji's gonna give me a fucking stroke, a fucking panic attack, dude. What the fuck do you mean it isn't the time to be doubting Mion? Are you fucking serious? Oh my god, dude. He is unironically the dumbest character ever put to pen. I swear to God, dude. He's so fucking stupid, dude. I needed to make sure Rika-chan was safe. I got changed and grabbed the key to my bike. I figured things would go more smoothly if we met up in the place we usually do before school. You know what I do in that situation, unironically, as soon as Mina, got brought up in the conversation? Click! I just hang up and fucking go. She already told me that she lives at the Furude Shrine. I know where that is. I just go fucking there. I knew that before she even told me. That whatever. I got changed and grabbed the key to my bike. I figured things would go more smoothly if we met up in the place we usually do before school. Rena wouldn't need to come all the way to my house. Well, now she's just going to be fucking pissed. My parents would probably have objected if I told them I was leaving, so I creeped out without a word. Ooh. What if Rena calls Mion and she's like,
This stupid bitch fucking Keiichi-kun is at the fucking house. We're gonna go get him.
and then they fucking sneak into the house and kill the parents while he's away. Okay, he might have, accidentally did a smart move, not for his parents. He just got his fucking parents marked, actually, but he might survive this because of that. My parents would probably have ejected if I told them if I was leaving, so I creeped out without a word. The night was unusually warm and disagreeably humid. She said that Rika-chan and Satoko lived together, right? Then it wasn't only Rika-chan. Satoko wasn't there either. Realizing... What? You just fucking... Ugh. Realizing what them living together really meant caused my thoughts to immediately take a turn for the worse. That can't be. Satoko is... She's got nothing to do with any of this. Even if there were a reason for Rika-chan to disappear, there shouldn't be one for Satoko.
Keiichi-kun!
Rena was really fast. She approached me on her bike at an amazing speed. Her breath was ragged, panting a clear picture of just how hurriedly she'd been going. Hey, Rena! Let's get going!
Keiichi-kun! I thought I told you to wait at your house.
Rena's expression was all business. Was she mad? It came out of the blue. I had faltered for a moment. Well, I just figured it would be faster to meet up here. It's a cute face. Oh, she's mad at me all of a sudden.
Keiichi-kun, don't you get it?
Rena shouted, clearly angry. I'd never seen Rena like this before. Do I get it? What's the problem? Rena seemed to notice she was scaring me, took a couple of deep breaths, and then continued as if admonishing me, but her expression didn't soften at all.
Keiichi-kun, the whole village is in an uproar now that the elder disappeared, right?
Yeah?
Now you're telling me that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan aren't where they're supposed to be, right?
Yeah? That about sums it up.
Then you need to be more careful. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is to be standing here alone in the middle of the night?
I began to understand where Rena's anger was coming from. She's lying to you, bro. She's pissed now because she told everybody to come to your house and murk you. And now you're not there. And now she's pissed because now everybody's going to show up there and think that she was lying.
You told your family you'd be going to Rika-chan's house with me, didn't you? So that in the worst case scenario, if you and I were to disappear, people would know when and where we did.
Rena was perfectly level-headed in this emergency situation. Now she's just more pissed that, now fucking the town's gonna have to kill even more people and hide even more bodies. I think that's really what's going on. I also just noticed her legs are gone. She doesn't have any fucking legs. Okay, weird. Rina was perfectly level-headed in this emergency situation. Ever since the night of the Watanagashi, every night, someone had died or disappeared. On the night itself, Takano-san and Tamataki-san met strange ends. On the next night, the elder vanished. Now, on the next night after that, Rika-chan and Satoko-chan were nowhere to be found. I hadn't been thinking of anyone but myself, but I wasn't enough to say that Himezawa was a little weird at the moment. It was, in fact, extremely weird. Rina had even anticipated our own disappearances and had told me to tell my family where I was going. I was embarrassed of my own carelessness, and the need to be embarrassed made me afraid of the night.
Sorry. I didn't tell them yet.
Okay, then let's go tell them together.
See? She's trying to get them to come back, go to the house so they can fucking just get them right there, you know what I mean? Just go fucking find the Furuta. Your parents are dead, bro. When Rita beside me, I wheeled back towards my house. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky that was usually vast and cold, so that no matter what, it would never seem to me like a dream. This cruel fact had already confronted me. On such a crazy night, Rina had been unimaginably dependable. 8 crazy nights, bro. Hinamizawa and metamorphosis, enough to make Rina caution me against carelessness, was to me the most fearsome thing of all. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. Usually seems that way, doesn't it? We meet up with Mion on the way, and she, of course, was unsure whether to believe me about Rika-chan and Satoko's disappearance. We fucking met up with Mion, bro.
Kei-chan, are you serious? I'm going to get really mad if this is a joke.
Mion was clearly displeased. If this were a joke, it wasn't very funny. I understood how indiscreet my words were. Ever since the day before yesterday, someone had either died or vanished every night. Rika-chan and Satoko-chan disappearing after all that was something you just couldn't say, even in a jest.
Mi-chan, it really is a joke. Don't get mad. Smile. It would be a joke after all.
It would be a joke after all.
We need to go make sure whether it's a joke or not.
You're right. Sorry for getting upset.
However indiscreet a joke it may have been, we learned that our friends were safe. It would end up as nothing more than a funny story. Having been warned about that by Rina, Mion gave a dry smile, the tension she felt loosening a bit. She mounted her bicycle as well. Our 3 bicycles' lights flashed down the pitch-black roads. They were some of the only illumination outside.
Kei-chan, why did you suddenly decide to call and ask about Rika-chan's house at a time like this?
Mion asked me the same thing I had trouble explaining to Rina. Would it be weird to call it a promotion? What? I couldn't quite tell because it was dark, but I thought I could see Mion smiling very ambiguously. I definitely understood that she wasn't convinced, though, despite the darkness. Well, I had a bad dream where I was snoozing and I couldn't get it out of my head.
So, did Rika-chan get kidnapped in the dream?
Well, it was more of a vague feeling sort of a thing. If Rika-chan had answered the phone, I would have called you and Rina after that. Lies smoothly babbled out of my mouth, makeshift though they were. I was lying because I thought telling them was connected to Shion. Would it be silently admitting she'd stolen into the ritual storehouse? He's lying because he thought it would be connected to Shion and not that Mion is trying to kill him? Mion didn't press me any further. I don't know whether that convinced her, or maybe she figured that making sure Rika-chan and Satoko were safe would be faster than making an issue out of it. I felt relieved and immediately a little guilty. Mion hadn't been acting any different because these last few days, but I'm still trying to distance myself from her for some reason. It was only because of what I heard from Shion and Oshi-san, that she was the successor to some kind of super extravagant gang family. No. I was just trying to force myself to forget. Don't do that, Keiichi Maribara. Wasn't it Mion who was the first to ask about that night of the Watanagashi? In such a harsh tone at that? Have I already forgotten the terror I felt? At the time, Mion looked like someone different from the Mion I knew. When I think about it, that Mion, then Shion and Oshi-san's descriptions of Mion made a tiny bit more sense. That's it, isn't it? It is it, yes. If it wasn't for how she acted that day, then I wouldn't be feeling this way towards her now. What on earth was going on with her back then? I was conveniently thinking of everything she had done after that. Well, disregarding the very first thing, the thing I should have been looking at most, wasn't I? Mion was pedaling her bicycle in front of me, her long hair fluttering in the wind. No matter how long I looked at her back, it never gave me an answer of any of my questions. We went all the way to the stone steps leading up to the shrine grounds. Of course, we weren't going to want to haul our bikes up there, so we parked them beside the staircase instead. So this is the Furude Shrine. Everybody comes and goes as they please, as if it were a park, but the place is actually a grand estate owned by the Furude family. So the entire shrine is private property. It really makes you feel the passage of time. What the fuck does that mean? 10 or 20 years ago, it would have looked the exact same. Wait. What does that mean? Has Keiichi been here for 20 years? Really makes you feel the passage of time 10 or 20 years ago, it would have looked the exact same. How do you know that, bro? Whatever. Then wouldn't that mean that the Furude family is really old, with a history going back for generations?
Yeah, they're gone. That's odd.
Rena said something clearly disquieting, so I ran over to her. What's wrong, Rena? Rena, what's wrong? He, ran over to her. That's funny. Rika-chan and Satoko-chan.
Rika-chan and Satoko-chan always leave their bicycles here. See? They're gone.
I took a look around. Indeed, there were no other bicycles aside from the ones taken to get here.
Couldn't they have parked them somewhere else?
Could they have brought them up the stairs?
Those girls couldn't do that, Keiichi-kun.
Just as she said, I couldn't imagine Rika-chan and Satoko-chan lugging their bikes all the way up here. We hadn't yet knocked on Rika-chan's door, but reality was already sparking some ideas that they weren't what you'd call good. Maybe they were just parked under some trees and we hadn't noticed them. I refused to believe that not being able to find their bikes here was proof that they disappeared. Let's go! The only way to be sure is to check their house. We all noted and dashed the stone steps. We passed through the red arch and came onto the shrine grounds, which was covered in neat gravel. It was so quiet here, as though the Watanagashi festival had never happened. So, where's the house they live in?
Over here! Come with me!
Rena took the lead and sprinted off. We went towards the assembly hall behind the shrine, then looped around behind it. In the darkness of the night, we found a small, prefab 2-story shack that looked like a warehouse.
The lights are off. Are they sleeping?
Let's knock!
Rena and Mion neared the shack, which didn't really look like a place people would live. They had such a beautiful shrine, so I'd figured they'd live in an equally beautiful house. It was far from what I had expected.
Rika-chan! Satoko-chan! Are you there?
Rena shouted up towards the second floor. Her voice was restrained at first, but it steadily grew louder. No answer. In fact, there wasn't any sort of activity in the house at all.
They might be sleeping. Let's wake them up.
Mina banged on the shutter with both hands, and the loud sounds echoed in the surroundings. They would have to notice this much noise. They would turn on the light in their room, filling open the windows, and yell, "What time do you think it is?" That, however, wasn't happening. There was absolutely no response. Mion stopped slamming her fists on the shutter, and a sudden silence fell over us. The silence aroused terrible thoughts in us. I could feel the blood draining from my face.
It's locked. I wonder if we can get into it somehow.
Rena showed no signs of stopping. It didn't look like she would admit they weren't there until we went inside and saw for ourselves. That refusal to give in gave me strength. The second-story windows wouldn't be locked. I'll give them a try.
Gei-chan, a ladder.
Mion brought over a ladder that was standing against the house. The footing was a little unstable for me to be climbing it, but Mion held the ladder firmly in place for me. I hadn't climbed too many ladders. Don't really do much of anything, do you? My inexperience with them exposed, I climbed up one step at a time and tried to open each window on the second floor.
Mi-chan, I'm going to check the main house just to be sure, okay? I'll be right back.
Rena darted away.
Zoom.
What? A main house?
It's the Furude family's actual house. After her parents passed away, I think it's been left like that.
Ah, right. Rika-chan's parents, they passed away. Huh? At that point, I recalled something else. Wasn't Satoko living here too? Satoko's also an orphan. Her parents fell from a cliff because Oroshiro-sama's curse. Then her older brother, Satoko-kun, he disappeared.
Satoshi. I've heard that name before.
I remembered. He was the one who disappeared last year because of the curse. Oh, wait. This is fucking Mion talking to me, isn't it?
Ever since then, Satoko and Rika-chan had been living in this shack. Neither of them has any family, but at least they're together. They help each other out.
Rena said main house, didn't she? Wouldn't it be easier to live there? The curtains were drawn so I couldn't get a good look inside to see, but two young girls living together seemed like a pretty tough life. They have no guardian at all.
I think she tried that at first. Said it was hard, though, because it reminded her of her parents. ...
I had no idea. I feel really bad for them. They were normally so cheerful at school that I had never even realized an atom of this. Rika-chan and Satoko-chan, they have it hard, huh?
She's cursed.
What does that mean? Huh? Suddenly, Mion had said something in such a low voice that it sounded like she was really cursing someone, and I didn't let it slide. I turned around on the ladder to face her and asked again. Mion, what did you say?
I said she's cursed.
Mion, still holding onto the ladder, brought her head up to look at me in the eyes. As soon as her eyes met, an absolute zero jolt of electricity surged through my body. Mion's eyes clouded over, and with them boiled and bubbled a stew of chaos. They whirled around and around like a raging sea, and bubbles floated to the surface. I had at some point been trapped on this ladder, like being cornered on a dead-end street.
Mion, why are you making that face?
I intended to follow up with, You're going too far with this joke, and give her a forced smile. However, on such uneven footing as I was, the only thing that came out of my mouth was a hoarse groan as I desperately struggled to not let nausea overwhelm me.
Satoko Hoju. She's been cursed by Oroshiro-sama.
Mion answers with a response to something I never asked, as if replying to someone else's question.
The only people who fell from the park observation platform were her parents. Only her parents, who treated her like dirt, died that day. She was the only one to survive. Then she was sent to live with her aunt, who treated her cruelly, and the aunt was killed on a night of Watanagashi by some deviant, who beat her to death so violently her brains were everywhere in her head, and her head an entirely different shape by the end of it.
Then Satoshi-kun, who always protected her,
he suddenly disappeared on her birthday. Someone made him disappear even though he wasn't abusing her.
Then police judged him to have
run away from home, but Satoshi-kun wasn't the kind of person who would do that. He was always earnest. He would never ask for anyone's help. He would always drag himself through everything with hard work alone. He worked so hard he nearly ground his bones into dust, all for one and only one little sister, and yet someone made him disappear. She was the only thing he lived for, and yet someone had made him disappear. Poor Satoshi-kun. He was never rewarded, that Satoshi-kun. How ungrateful that child is. She is cursed. All who get near her suffer the same fate. The curse kills them, or the curse makes them disappear. She cannot have any relief. She cannot have any relief. It's probably Satoko's fault that Rika-chan disappeared too. It has to be. 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 It has to. It has to. It has to. It has to.
Mion was mumbling words over and over that were no longer coherent. She's like actually going crazy in front of me. Her shoulders were trembling so hard that I could feel it through the ladder. I almost lost my footing, which made me realize just how far away the ground really was. Calm down, Mion. I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't sure if she even heard me. Mion rocked back and forth. That rocking and trembling was becoming even more violent. Help me! The ladder, it's falling. Help me! Help! Just then, I heard the sound of many people running towards us. What? Oh, hey! Over here! I very nearly said, help me outright. 4 or 5 adults led by Rina ran over here with flashlights.
Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan, sorry I took so long. I borrowed the key.
Oh, nice one.
Snap right back to it, bro. What the fuck? Seems all the windows and doors are perfectly sealed.
I was getting worried.
When I heard Mion talking like nothing had just happened, I again felt a chill run through me. The person currently holding the ladder in place, it was definitely Mion. It was the real Mion Sonozaki. Then, the person muttering to themselves, just a few seconds ago, who was that? The person who was mumbling about the terrible things like curses, who was that? I jumped from the ladder as if running away before Mion turned into the person who wasn't Mion a second time. The adults tried a few different keys on a key ring as they tried to open the big shutter on the first floor.
Rika-chan's house used to be a disaster shelter for the town council, so the key to the shutter is still kept in the mayor's house.
It's Rika-chan at Satoko's private residence now, though. Well, this is on Rika-chan's property anyway. Nobody complains about it.
Mion gave me a smile and she said that. I, however, could only return her gaze with an exhausted expression. Mion was acting all too normal now, but that only contrasted all the more sharply with her early un-Mion-like creepiness. Bang! Bam! Clatter! Clatter! Bang! The shutter opened for the first time in a very long while. Rina located the light switch and wasted no time going inside. I followed her in.
Rika-chan! Sadako-chan! If you're here, say something!
We climbed a narrow staircase. It had looked like nothing more than a warehouse, but now that I was inside, I could feel how I lived in it. It was a person's home. Grass is green, sky is blue. Somehow the scent of the two of them filled the place. This was definitely where Rika-chan and Satoko lived.
I can smell you.
The first floor doubled as a town assembly warehouse, but the second floor was a space entirely for living. This is a new song I have not heard yet. Banger. Just like a one-room apartment past the kitchen was a living room taking up about 150 square feet. Dressers, cupboards, and the like were packed into the space. In the corner there was a huge pile of clothes that appeared to have just been taken in from drying outside. It just got better, bro. In the center of the living room was a fold-up table. On it were small containers for things like soy sauce and salad dressing. The sense of a frugal lifestyle drifted from all of it. It was strange that they weren't here in the middle of the night like this. The adults, climbing up the stairs one at a time, began to make a fuss and talk amongst themselves.
So? Not here?
Yeah, they're not here. This is definitely weird.
The village had just been thrown into chaos yesterday because of the mayor's disappearance. Then today, even Rika-chan and Satoko-chan had. Were they out playing somewhere together?
That can't be.
Their bicycles aren't here, though.
Why would they have gone so late at night? Have they just not come back yet? Where do they go?
The adults put forth various possibilities in the house immediately. Those were the adults? The adults put forth various possibilities and the house immediately devolved into a state of confusion. Eventually, Mion settled them down.
I don't want to believe it, but the mayor, Kimiyoshi, disappeared yesterday. We can't say that this is unrelated.
The adult's faces paled at Mion's declaration. Mine and Rena's did as well.
Let's see. They could have gone nearby for some tea or something, then accidentally fallen asleep.
That definitely makes sense.
Whoever invited them might just not be able to wake them up at all, too. Let's eliminate that possibility first.
What?
Mikano-san, please go around the house near the stream.
Who's Mikano-san?
Keitaro-san, just go look near Ojaga Lake.
Where are these places, bro?
Okumura-san, you...
Mion promptly gave directions to the villagers. Wait. Isn't Okumura the assistant for Oshi-san? I may be tripping, but is this a possible spy? Who knows? Mion promptly gave directions to the villagers. The adults followed them without hesitation despite her age.
We'll remain here and call up anyone who can think of anyone we can think of on the phone. Okay, everyone, you have your orders.
Got it! The adults all roared and replied and pounded back down the stairs below.
Wow, Mi-chan, you're not only chairperson of the school, but Hinamazawa too.
No time for jokes. Hey, step aside. This old man is using the phone.
Mion grinned proudly, took the receiver, and got started. Rena gave Mion a trusting look, considering her dependable for doing all this. My feelings, though, were a little more complicated since her leadership seemed to be affirming the Sonozaki family successor impression that Shion and Onoshi-san had given me. Had the fucking scene on the ladder not also given you that impression too? Whatever. Stop right there, Keiichi Miyabara. None of that matters right now. The most important thing is to make sure Rika-chan and Satoko are safe. Let's see, couldn't there be a clue hinting at where they might have gone somewhere in this room? Still, though, I wouldn't know what to look for anyway. If we tore the whole place apart and figured out what was different from before, we might be able to speculate, but there was nothing strange about this room, and there was no clues in sight. In the first place, I had never been here before. There was no way for me to know what was different if I didn't know how the room usually looked. Hey, don't give up, Keiichi Miyabara. Stop thinking and just start looking. For something. In search of something, I tried pulling open the dresser drawers and opened the windows. I didn't uncover anything meaningful, though. Rena, also unable to stand around doing nothing, was looking around the room like I was. Rena, I don't think you'll find Rika-chan by opening the refrigerator or the cabinet underneath the sink.
I just thought they might be hiding.
As we were searching, it got noisy outside. Villagers were quickly assembling here, having heard the commotion. Of course, a lot of them were probably people Mion had called.
I'll go tell everyone what's going on. The police will be here soon later, too. We'll need to explain the situation to Oshi.
Mion began descending the stairs, and we followed her out the front of the house. There were already around 10 adults there, and all of them looked uneasy. I suddenly noticed that the old people from the shrine were here as well, and they were praying for Rika-chan's safety, rubbing their prayer beads. This had gotten bad. This wasn't just a problem between friends anymore. Mion-chan, is it true that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan aren't anywhere to be found? The villagers all formed a ring around Mion, swarming her. Mion raised her right hand as if silently telling them to calm down. First, let's check every house according to the town council's notification division and see if they're visiting anyone. After all, they could be fast asleep at someone's house and totally unaware that they're looking for them. Does that just happen often with them, bro? How often do you personally, as the viewer, invite little girls into your house and let them sleep over? Seems a little weird to me. It would definitely be hard for someone to wake up Rika-chan if she had eaten a good full meal and fallen asleep like a kitten afterwards. Oh, wow. How nice it would be if that were the case. I don't want to think about this, but it also possibly something bad has happened. Mion's face grew remarkably more grim, and a wave of silence washed over the adults.
We should divide up the work, too. We'll go around to all the places we went last night while looking for the mayor.
We'll go look around the dam construction site as best as we can.
Oh, we'll go look around the dam construction site as best as we can. You guys go search around the school.
Right! Let's get a move on! Come on, let's go!
All of you, we're up all night looking for the mayor. I know you're all low on sleep, but please do your best.
Got it! With that, as their signal, the adults scattered in every direction. I figured I should scatter somewhere as well, so I started walking unsteadily in a direction no one else had gone in. I was getting farther and farther from people. I didn't feel scared or anything, though. If someone were made to disappear, Shion and I should be first. It would have been perfectly normal for me to be scared of the dark. However, I didn't feel that way. Why was that? It was because tonight, someone had already disappeared, so nobody else would disappear tonight. How do you know that, bro? It would take some time before I, exhausted as I was, would feel guilty at the cause of my own selfish sense of relief. Higurashi, when they cry. Wow, Rika-chan and Satoko-chan are gone. Oh. Not the end of the chapter, I guess. I'm gonna go pee real quick, and I'll be right back. I'm back, and I'm ready to give my thoughts on what I just read. So, we know that Mion isn't 100% reliable. We know that she's kind of shady as fuck, and she's in with some really, really, really deep business, and they're going around and killing people, and we saw that on the ladder or whatever. So, what I'm thinking is with this whole thing where she's coming and, like, looking for Rika and Satoko, is my personal opinion is that she doesn't know where they are. Even though she is, like, the person who's responsible for disappearing everybody. And I think this is really getting to her because she apparently knows everything that happens in Hinamizawa. Nothing gets through her or whatever, right? And so, how I'm thinking about it is that this really was a gap. Like, Rika, for some reason, might actually be, like, a wild card in her deck that she's playing with or whatever. Like Rika, like, might actually be something that has to do with, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, like, for some reason, Rika's able to skirt around Mion's, like, weird, like, omniscient sense where she just knows everything that happens in Hinamizawa whenever it happens. And I think Rika probably took Satoko. I think they probably ran away with each other to avoid any kind of penalty that was coming their way, because Rika-chan kind of started to know that her walls were closing in, since she is trying to help. She's trying to help Keiichi with his whole business, and I don't know why Mion isn't just trying to straight up murk Keiichi right now, because he's literally fucking blabbering to everybody. But I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, at first, when she first showed up, I thought she was, like, just trying to do this whole, like, oh, I'm just gonna get on Keiichi's good side so he doesn't think that I'm actually trying to kill him or whatever. That way I can kill him when he least suspects it. But, like, now that, like, after that, like, freak out when Keiichi was on the ladder, I think that she, like, actually does not know where Rika and Satoko are. Which I think is bad news for her, because I don't think she wants anybody to know. Well, obviously she doesn't want anybody to know what's happening inside the village. And maybe that's Rika's plan. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. Maybe this is part of Rika's plan to save Keiichi and Shion. If Shion is still alive, this would be Rika's plan to try and save them by kind of, like, curbing everybody's interest toward Rika and Satoko for, leaving when they weren't supposed to. That might be what's happening. Which is stupid and foolish, because as soon as that attention goes back, it just goes back to them. Or maybe they just kill them just because it's all over the place right now. But I mean, what the fuck else are you supposed to do in this situation? Anyway, back into it. Suddenly, my vision cleared and a cold wind caressed my body. This was the hill from which I could see the whole village. Looking down from this hill, I could see lights on here and there, and knew that the entire village had awoken from its slumber. First Takano-san and Tamataki-san, then the mayor, and now even Rika-chan and Satoko-chan had been sacrificed. The word of it was spreading everywhere. The strength in my knees left me. This could no longer be a joke. We could have found them. Mian would have told me I was a worrywart. Rina would just be glad we did. And they would have smiled at me. My hopes disappeared as if I were awakening from a dream. That was what the view I could see was telling me. Following my knees, my arms both bent forward onto the ground and I clawed at it with my nails. He's on all fours right now. I couldn't figure it out if I was feeling sorrow or frustration.
Is this my fault?
I couldn't endure the burden of my own sin, and I had just told Rika-chan about it. I had nothing to do with it. But Rika-chan, you have everything to do with it, you dumbass. Rika-chan and even Satoko had been sacrificed. It was like a cross that Shion and I each would have to bear the weight of until we ourselves were erased. Well, if I'm going that far, then the problem started long before that. My original sin of breaking a taboo and entering the ritual storehouse without asking. I knew I shouldn't have gone in there from the start. Yet, I lost out to cheap curiosity. I hadn't felt so angry at myself until this very moment. There was a crunching sound. I wasn't even interested in who made the noise. Disappointed as I was. Despondent as I was. God.
Keiichi-kun? Keiichi-kun, are you okay?
It was Rina. Perhaps my clawing at the ground made it look like I was having a stomach pains. She ran over and rubbed my back like she was trying to make me feel better.
This is all my fault. It's because of me. It's my fault.
Keiichi-kun's fault? You didn't do anything wrong. Please don't blame yourself for this.
I could tell Rina was doing her best to choose the right words out of consideration for me. That's why I couldn't sense her intent behind those words.
Keiichi-kun, you know why Rika-chan and Satoko-chan disappeared, don't you?
Is that what she really meant to say? Oh, I thought it was supposed to be like Shion's voice. Because it was an emergency, Rina had ignored the reason why I wanted to make sure Rika-chan was safe, but now that we'd actually confirmed her disappearance, it was only natural for Rina would start to wonder about me. However, with the situation having gone this far, I couldn't possibly tell her now. I didn't want to admit that Rika-chan and Satoko had disappeared, but I couldn't let Rina disappear either.
Keiichi-kun, if you stay out here in the wind, you'll catch a cold. ...
Rina sat down, bringing her eyes level with mine.
They told us that children should go back home to sleep.
Rina showed me her watch as she said that. It was long past 1 a.m. Time was passing too quickly. Had I been crawling around here for that long?
If we don't sleep soon, we'll have trouble getting up for school tomorrow. Even the adults are really worn out since they were up searching for the mayor last night, too. They were saying they'd break up a little earlier tonight.
I was a little upset that they weren't allotting as much time as they had in search for the mayor last night, but that was something I, the cause of everything, had no right to criticize them for.
It's all right. The police arrived a little while ago. Look, there's a police car coming into the village right now.
Hearing that remark, I looked down to the village to see that there were indeed more cars than one would normally expect at this hour, coming from the darkness on the other side of the mountain. However, none of their emergency lights were on. Of course, their sirens weren't wailing either. That's right. All the incidents that occurred right after Watanagashi were seen as the product of Urashiro-sama's curse, and would be handled in secrecy. Rika-chan and Satoko too. Their disappearance would end up exactly like the other serial incidents in the past. Surreptitious. Unresolved. Declared a mystery. Disappear from memory. Rika-chan's face, her sweet face like a Western doll's, would fade away. Satoko's smile, her energetic fanged smile, would fade away. The more I try to remember them, the less I would be able to. I deserve to be called an idiot. Dozens of times, over and over, and it would be enough. I couldn't hold back the tears in my own sheer stupidity.
I don't know what you're blaming yourself for, Keiichi-kun, but you should stop.
I wasn't about to deny it. I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't affirm it either. I wanted to at least keep Rina out of this.
If she found out, she would become involved.
Please, Rina, could you just leave me alone? Even if I went home, I wouldn't be able to sleep. If I couldn't go to sleep, then at least I wanted to search for Rika-chan and Satoko-chan until I collapsed. The entire village was looking, and yet they still hadn't found anyone. I don't think I'd be able to find them if I went looking alone at this point. Still, I had to do it. They disappeared because of me. I couldn't possibly go to sleep while other people are out there searching. I had said that to myself in self-deprecation, and I soon realized that Rina was silently trying to find the meaning in my mumblings. I realized I had misspoke.
It's Keiichi-kun's fault? Why do you think that? Why?
That can't be. Keiichi-kun, you're not at fault. I was happy that Rina said these things to me, but she only did so because she didn't know the truth. If she knew that everything had been caused by my breaking taboo on the night of the Watanagashi, then even Rina would curse my existence. However, I can't even allow for those curses. That would mean confessing my own crimes to Rina. If I spilled even one word of having snuck into the ritual storehouse on the night of Watanagashi, then even Rina could disappear tomorrow night. The gentle, spirited, always joking, always howling. But at a time like this, the most dependable person in the world, Rina, might disappear. I don't want that. Anything but that. This time I need to bear my own cross. Alone.
Keiichi-kun, I know that you always have your friends in your heart. I can really understand feeling like that you want to kick yourself. Rina knows, though, that it's not Keiichi-kun's fault. You didn't do anything wrong, Keiichi-kun, and I know that.
You know that? The shivering in my veins rushed to my back and replaced the sorrow in my heart with fear. I didn't tell her anything, did I? Maybe I accidentally said something that caused Rina to figure it out. This is bad. Now Rina will disappear. Rina will disappear. Rina will disappear. Then Rina, same as I always did, grabbed my head and began to pet it roughly. Rina always did that?
Keiichi-kun, are you thinking that Rina might disappear now too? Because of Oroshiro-sama's curse?
She puts more force into the hand rubbing on my head.
You don't need to worry about that. Rina isn't going anywhere. I promise.
Why? How can you say that with such confidence? I mean, someone's been sacrificed every night so far. There was no proof that it wouldn't happen again tomorrow night. There was even less proof, after all, that the sacrifice wouldn't be Rina. I don't care who you are. Just please, if you're going to erase someone, erase me first. Please, stop cruelly getting rid of everyone we're close to, like the mayor for Shion and Rika-chan and Satoko for me. Shion's hysterical shouting came back to mind. They must be planning to kill us last of all. They're not killing the first people who come to mind. Start by killing those we're close to. Then after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing. Rina, please, don't disappear. Please, don't. As long as I'm still here, I can no longer conceal the sobs welling up within me.
Come on, Keiichi-kun, crying doesn't suit you. Let's go back to the others. The housewives are cooking some miso soup for us. It'll warm you up and calm you down.
Rina prompted me to stand. I didn't have the energy to oppose her, so I stood as she urged me to. We returned to the shrine grounds to find several gas stoves there with miso soup in big pots. The many villagers there sipped at the soup they were given in dead, stony silence. Their expressions were absolutely exhausted. Everyone had just been running around the village until a little while ago. From the dreary looks on their faces, though, I assumed they hadn't come up with anything yet.
Kei-chan, where did you go? I was worried you disappeared too.
Sorry. Mion held out some miso soup for me, but I refused the offer. I didn't have much of an appetite.
Mi-chan, how is it? Did you find any clues?
Mion took a sip of her soup, her expression frank.
None. None at all. School ended and they went home. Then the two of them went somewhere on their bicycles. Moreover, nobody ever saw them riding their bikes, so...
When it gets dark out in Hinamizawa, people quickly vanish from the streets. Aside from adults hurrying back from home from town in cars or on bicycles, it was normal to see absolutely nobody walking around outside. It wasn't all strange that nobody had seen Rika-chan and Satoko riding their bikes.
It was the same last night with the mayor. There's no hope.
Mion's apathetic tone pricked my nerves, but that anger quickly subsided. She had been doing all sorts of things to try and find Rika-chan until just seconds ago. If I asked her, she'd probably say she was up all night last night, too, looking for the mayor, wouldn't she? She must have been far from the fatigued than I was. Besides, what about me? I had spent the time hunched over in indecision, all alone. I had no right to say anything about Mion.
Kei-chan, I know it's hard, but let's turn in for the night. We just decided we should break up the search for now. Drink this and let's call it quits.
Is this the end?
Oh no, of course not. Once it's bright out again, we'll do a thorough search with the police help. They could have gone to Okinomiya too. People are even saying we should go through all of Shishibone City investigating whether there are any witnesses for both the girls and the mayor. Anyway, what happened, Kei-chan?
Why should you make that face?
Where'd you go off to? You vanished all of a sudden, I was really worried.
Suddenly I was on the receiving end, but I didn't have the willpower to respond.
Sorry. I'll be more careful.
Nothing happened? There wasn't anyone suspicious spying or stalking you? Nothing like that?
Mion demanded with a serious expression. I was being criticized for how inconsiderate I had been, despite being in so much pain. I was frustrated that I was being criticized, but it was my sin. My sin, and I must bear it alone. Nothing. I'll be careful either way. Sorry. Mion, now aware that nothing had happened, heaved a big sigh and her shoulders looked relieved. Oh! Dude, this whole game, this one, the second one, he's been like fucking just coming in like jump scare, bro. Oh my. I knew I smelled something good coming from over here. I'll be much obliged if you'd allow me to have some. We heard the repulsive voice of a fat man. Come on, leave Oshi-san alone. It was Oshi-san, trailed by a handful of police officers. He was acting energetically in a way unfitting even the situation.
There's not much left, but you can have some if you want.
Mion didn't like Oshi-san very much. Her cold attitude, though, didn't seem to bother Oshi-san in the slightest. It was like splashing water in a frog's face.
Well now, miso soup leftovers have a bit too much salt for my taste. Confound it, nah ha ha ha. Would you like any?
He recommended it to the subordinates, but everyone gave a dry smile and refused.
So, have the police gotten hold of any clues?
Rina's smile was warm enough to replace the miso soup.
Don't you worry, little missy. Everything's fine. We're searching for them real good. Foo.
He didn't say a word about having found any new clues. In other words, there had been no progress. That sure was an annoying way of beating around the bush.
In any case, really has gotten late. All you youngsters should get on home and get some sleep. It'll be bad for your health otherwise. Yeah. Kei-chan, Rina, get some rest. These guys get our tax money. They'll handle it from here. We're taxpayers too, you know. It's like we're drinking our own piss.
I really wasn't in the mood for laughter. In fact, Oshi-san was the only one laughing like an idiot. Oh, why are they dogging on Oshi, man?
Okay, seriously, please do your best. Let's go home, Kichi-kun. It'll be harder to wake up tomorrow if we don't.
Yeah, that's right. I can always bring you home if you need. Kuma-chan, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. I can always bring you home if you need. Kuma-chan, why don't you bring the car around? No thanks. We came on our bicycles, so...
No need to worry. We came in a truck. We'll just throw the bikes in the back.
We may have gotten pretty sleepy, but just needed to ride home at this point. I didn't want to bother police like that. Rena, however, nodded.
Okay, if you insist, we'd appreciate it.
It's probably safer than if we went back alone. When I thought about it carefully, I realized that Rena's idea was extremely rational. Now that it's decided, let's get a move on, shall we?
Okay, bye. Good night. Rena, K-chan.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, bye. Good night. Rena-chan, K-chan.
Yeah, Me-chan, you go to bed soon too, okay? Good night. I waved my hands as well, saying goodbye. Rika-chan and Satoko-stan still hadn't been found. My unease, however, was steadily being pushed away by sleepiness. Rena showed the police where our bicycles were so that Oshi-san could haul them up into their truck. He prompted us to get into the back seat. I could hear the springs squeaking as I sat down onto a seat that would normally hurt my rear end. But at this point, it was very soft and was more than comfortable enough for me to fall asleep on. Ladies first, we'll start with the little Mrs. house. Where do you live?
Thank you. My house is, well...
Oh, I thought that was the end. Rena's voice slowly grew distant. I felt myself being stuck in the void of sleep. Hello, Mayabara-san, are you asleep back there? Huh? When I came to, it was quiet. Car was parked. Is Oshi gonna drop some Oshi bombs on us, bro? Oshi-san was giving me light slaps on the cheek. Slapping me? It didn't feel good at all, so I woke up immediately. I'm sorry, I just fell asleep. Something was being held right under my nose. A clump of metal? It was a can of coffee. It's lukewarm by now, but cafe au lait, it's good even at room temperature. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. Oh, thanks. I mechanically took the can and opened the pull at the top. The feeling of warm, sweet liquid going down my throat awakened my sleepy mind. When my drowsiness receded, I started wanting to know why the car was stopped and why I was offered coffee. Oshi-san, who had been in the driver's seat, had at some point moved to the back. He's just in the back seat with me? That's weird. Suddenly, I had a very bad feeling about this. It reminded me of the questioning yesterday at the library. It was already too late by the time I realized I had made a mistake. Today of all days, it didn't look like I would be getting away. I had a feeling that until Oshi-san heard what he wanted to, he wouldn't be letting me go. Please, don't get all formal on me. I'm not going to eat you or anything. Well, you are pretty cute, actually. I could just gobble you up. Nom, 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 nom. Oshi-san gulped down the last of his coffee, then stretched wide, showing me how relaxed he was. That, however, only served to heighten my nervousness. What do you need from me? Need? No, nothing, really. You're going to evade the question at this point. What a deeply You're going to evade the question at this point? What a deeply unreadable man. Well, I don't need you for anything. I just thought that you might need something from me, Maybar-san. I don't. I don't need anything. Oh, I see. Really? Are you sure there's nothing? Nefoo-foo-foo. There was only one side door in the back seat of this truck. In other words, my only exit was blocked off by Oshi-san. I couldn't get away. I could only limply hang my head and maintain my silence. This is getting a little bit diddy blood on Oshi-san right now. Oshi-san, despite my reticence, I don't know that word, relaxed and began smoking a cigarette. The cries of the insects outside seemed to be growing longer and longer, to an amount of time that almost seemed infinite. Here I was sure that you would say something you wanted to talk to me about. Oshi-san exhaled a puff of smoke. The windows were open, but the tobacco smoke still accumulated inside the vehicle. How much did Oshi-san know? What did he know, and what did he want to hear from me? If finding out the truth made you disappear, then if I told him, would Oshi-san disappear too? I had a feeling I didn't need to worry about that in his case. I wonder how all this ended up happening. Oshi-san addressed me in a low tone as if he was talking to himself. How all this ended up happening. How the hell should I know? That was what I wanted to know. You know Jiro Tamatake-san and Mio Takano-san, right? I know you do because I personally witnessed you with them during the festival alongside Shino Sonozaki-san. Awkward. Do you know how Tamatake-san and Takano-san are doing now? They're dead. You told me that. They're actually, well, passed away. You told me that. They met very untimely deaths. Oshi-san probably played that card in order to surprise me. However, I already knew, and didn't display the extreme reaction he expected. No, wait. Shion told me that. Never mind. What's this? Did you already know? Unfortunately for this question in particular, remaining silent was equivalently to saying yes. Oh, so then, did you also know? The reason Tomatake-san and Takano-san were cursed like that? People are saying that apparently they went into some forbidden building. The storehouse for ritual implements. The forbidden shed, sealing away him as I was blood-stained past. Where the mistake that started it all happened. Did you know about the rumors that say the mayor and Rika Furude-san were cursed because of that too? That would mean it was mine and Shion's fault. He was right. As soon as we revealed what we did. Would you call it a ritual storehouse? Oh, wait. What'd you call it? Wait. Who is this talking? What did they call it? A ritual storehouse? They're saying it was bad luck. The lock to it had been replaced by a simpler one, which made it easier for thieves to get inside. What? That was news to me. Till last year, it apparently had these big bars and huge padlocks on it. I mean, you know, ever since the priest and his wife passed away, Rika Furude-san has been managing the place, right? Apparently, she talked to the mayor saying she wanted them replaced with lighter, more simpler padlocks because the bars were too heavy for her. I didn't know anything about those big bars he was talking about, but the lock had certainly been a simple one. It was pretty cheap one too, and it didn't really fit my impression of what a lock for a place you'd store something as important as ritual implements would look like. Rika-chan is a small girl after all. The bars were heavy with rust, and they must have caused her a lot of trouble. So the mayor had a craftsman and replaced the lock with a simple padlock so she could open it with the key. So how does that mean it was bad luck? Here's what I'm saying. Thieves couldn't get in with the old tight lock. The mayor and Rika-san replaced it with a cheap lock and the key on their own, so thieves broke into it. Apparently that's how it's going down. That explanation's a bit... Letting that slide, certain members of the village delivered punishment upon the thieves who stole into the ritual storehouse, as well as the mayor and Rika-san who changed the lock. At least those were the whispers that seemed to be going around. Mayabara-san, what do you think? What do I think? I don't really know what you mean by certain members of the village. Are you familiar with the three families? Yeah, I am. Representatives from each of them gave short addresses at the Watanagashi Festival's opening ceremony. Did you see them? I came partway through the festival, so I don't really... The three families are the three oldest families in Hinamizawa. To give actual names, the Kimiyoshi family, the Sonozaki family, and the Furude family. We already know this. Why are we reading this again? They each have quite the lineage, it seems. Long ago, it's said that everything in the village was decided by a council of the three families. The Kimiyoshi family, Old Man Kimiyoshi, meaning the mayor's family. The Sonozaki family was Mion's, and the Furude family was Rika-chan's family then. After the war, Sonozaki family quickly expanded their influence. Oh my god, I'm doing this voice wrong again. After the war, Sonozaki family quickly expanded their influence, Practically speaking, after leading the fight against the construction during the dam conflict, they jumped to the top of the hierarchy in Hidimizawa. You see, though, in accordance with the old ways, they still decided important village matters only after consulting with the three families. That's why the leaders of the three families each have their own address at the start of Watanagashi. In other words, the mayor, the old lady currently in charge of the Sonozaki family, and the last remaining member of the Furude family, Rika-san. So what that means is that because Kimiyoshi met with Rika Furude and they changed the locks on the shrine, or the storehouse or whatever, that means that, you know, the Sonozaki family, which is like, you know, huge family, and didn't they say like fucking Kimiyoshi and Furude? Like Rika is the last Furude, and the mayor was the last Kimiyoshi, but now he's gone. So now I think what Oshi-san is saying is that they got fucking murked. And now the Sonozaki family probably did that so they could be the only family in charge of everything, which I say makes a whole lot of sense. And they probably use this whole like shrine thing that Rika-san, changing the locks on the shrine with the help of Mayor Kimiyoshi, probably use that as some kind of like what's the term? Justification. They used it as some kind of justification to get them killed so that they could be the head brass, the whole honchos, you know what I mean. All right. I heard that Sonozaki family was pretty high up there, so Rika-chan's family was just as old. Oh, that was me. I heard that Sonozaki family was pretty high up there, so Rika-chan's family was just as old? Oh, shit. Well, as you're aware, she has no relatives at all. In reality, the Furude family holds pretty much no influence. However, it seems like people gravitate towards Rika-san on a personal level, and I hear that many of the village's elderly have blind faith in her. It was certainly true that Rika-chan had an odd sort of charisma amongst the elderly. So what you're telling me about this is So what are you telling me about this three family stuff for? I hate him. I hate him. Oshi-san paused for emphasis, lighting another cigarette. I explained a lot about it, but I suppose it's still not enough. I'm asking because I don't understand. Oshi-san gave me a dry, meaningful grin and blew out another big puff of smoke. Members of the three families are disappearing one after the other. That's what I'm talking about. I've read that it's based on some kind of old traditions inherent in Himenozawa, but I don't know much beyond that. I don't know anything about it either. That's why I'm asking. The leaders of the Kimiyoshi and Furude families have disappeared, so maybe the leaders of the Sonozaki family will disappear next. I don't think that. Well, that's just a random idea bouncing around in my head at the moment. Just kidding, really. The leader of the Sonozaki family, who is it? The current leader is the old lady of their main house, but it wouldn't be incorrect to say that, particularly at the rights of leadership, has been transferred to the granddaughter Mion-san. Village of Mion The visage of Mion giving prompt directions to the adults were searching for Rika-san sprung back to mind. Mion? She's gonna disappear? I hadn't even thought of the possibility. All my hair stood on end. That's insane! Nobody wants that, right? Of course not. Oh, nobody wants that, right? Of course not. We can't allow that. Clamp. Oshi-san grabbed my shoulders with both hands. Then help us, Maybar-san. If there's anything you've noticed about Mion Sonozaki lately, please tell me. Yeah, she's going fucking bonkers, Oshi-san. I was going along with him. By the time I realized it, it was too late. Oshi-san brought his face in closer, almost close enough to ram into me, waiting for my next words. This pressure. I can't tear my eyes away from his. That moment I heard a beeping sound. It was from the driver's seat. He ignored it at first, but then it started to bother him, so he finally let go of me and leaned into the driver's seat. Hello? Yep, loud and clear. I was saved. Of course, It's not like I could escape through his opening. I see. Yes, all right. Let's head back then. Yes? Okay, okay. Apparently he was being recalled. Now that I knew I'd been freed, the tension in my body dissipated all at once. Looks like I need to get going. We were just getting to the good part, too. That's too bad. Oshi-san flung open the door, exited, and walked around the front of the driver's seat. He left the door open. Did that mean I could leave? You really care about your friends, Mayabara-san? An admirable trait... You really care about your friends, Mayabara-san? An admirable trait for a kid to have in this day and age. I totally understand that it feels like you've been betraying them if you told the police anything. Mayabara-san? It's the middle of the night, so get a good night's sleep and think about it. Just a little bit of courage from you might end up being what saves many of your friends in the end. Did he want to say the sacrifices wouldn't stop at Rika-chan and Satoko? You already know... Whatever. You know this already, but every night since Watanagashi something has happened. In the past, the curse only occurred once per year, but this time it's been going on for days. What a prosperous year this has been. My bad. I don't think you can call that prosperous. The night before last night, and now today. There's no proof that something won't happen tomorrow night as well. It's our job to prevent such things before they happen. But for that, we need your cooperation, Mayabara-san. I looked at the open door to see none other than my own house right in front of me. It creeped me out that he knew my name and address, and I was too sleepy right now. I was too sleepy to care. Well, you're probably tired. It's already 3 in the morning. Please get yourself a good rest. Yes, sir. I'll be going home now. Then I was about to get out of his truck as if to deliver a parting blow. Oshi-san said in raised voice, I'll be coming by every day until you feel like talking, all right? I don't believe forcing you to confess in an interrogation room is really in fashion these days. I couldn't say anything in response, but me slamming the door shut probably served the same purpose. After lightly beeping the horn, Oshi-san's truck drove off. I went to the front door without waving a goodbye. The door was locked, but the chain wasn't up. I unlocked the door and entered. Then walked over to the staircase. That was where I lost consciousness. Because you were that sleepy? Dang. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot to be looking at the tips. Oh my god, I got so many too. Hold on, I gotta view all tips and read the last ones. Oh, I don't know which ones are the last ones. Okay, we saw that already. We're gonna do this one. Hopefully we didn't read this one already. There are 3 families in modern times. As previously described, the 3 families council today is a mere shell of democracy. In reality, it's a dictatorship run by the Sonozaki family. Both the Kimiyoshi and Furude families are far from their former glory. It doesn't seem at all like they're maintaining the ancient traditions. Only the Sonozaki family has retained their glory from the past and has inherited many colorful traditions from the age known as Onigafuji village. Even the most recent verifiable example of Watanagashi that occurred at the end of the Meiji era seems to have been done under the orders of the Sonozaki family, referred to the 3 families' genealogical tree from the late Meiji. After the start of the Meiji era, the Sonozaki family wanted to push the development of the Hinazawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the Dam Wars a few years ago, the Kimiyoshi family served the chair as an opposition alliance, but this was in a name only. In actuality, the Sonozaki family regained a leader behind the scenes. People whispered that perhaps the Kimiyoshi family dictated the acts of opposition that could have been publicized, and the Sonozaki family enacted those which could not. Even in Hinazawa, they whispered that the multitude of unsettling incidents reporting during the dam protests, such as the kidnapping of the famous head of the ministry construction son, had been carried out by the Sonozakis. Wait. It's the famous kidnapping of the construction worker's son or whatever, right? Didn't Shion tell us that it was unknown, or they kept it under wraps? How is it famous at the same time? Additionally, they say that perhaps the Sonozaki family's secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak death accidents that have continuously occurred in recent years as well. The serial freak death incidents are without a doubt the second coming of the traditional Watanagashi. They must have been enacting the Watanagashi on the day of the original Watanagashi, which has fallen to the level of ordinary village festival in order to remind the villagers the holy wars of Onagafuji village. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sonozaki family is the safest route to researching it today. If I can expose the contents of the Furude Shrine storehouse, I'd like to narrow the research target to Sonozaki's family next. Sonozaki House is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premises that thankfully I've been acquainted with the sisters Mion, the next heir, and Shion. I've become acquainted with them, is what I meant to say. I want this to be a breakthrough I can't connect to my next line of research. So what, you knew there was cameras and you did it anyway, bro? Okay, so that didn't really tell us anything, no. Kind of just a pointless note, we already know. No, don't worry about it. You see, when you order the Odin here, for some reason it ends up on the annual invoice for our gas contract, so don't be shy and have another drink. The man, red-faced, waved his hand and said that as he had enough and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station. Koma-chan, you should be taking notes. The most modest people are the ones who live the longest, fo.
Was that true?
Well, I don't know about that. Whether or not it's true, I think there's meaning in hearing something that sounds so plausible.
Would something like that be a motive to go for the mayor?
Kuchan, here's what I always say. The motive only has to be enough for the person in question. You need to think about how different people value different things. Hey, bartender, give me another mug. Though we have been suppressing the information Tamatake's and Takano's death, we're already known throughout Hinamizawa. All the rumors pointed to them having incurred the wrath of Oroshiro-sama for setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse for ritual implements. According to the rumors, there were two other people who went in there with them, Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Miyabara. People were disappearing in the shadows that those two would be cursed by Oroshiro-sama as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four trespassers' shoulders. Until last year, it was locked up tight. This year, it had been changed to a simpler lock. Hadn't that been what allowed thieves to enter so easily? Those were the rumors going around. Have you ever seen it, Kuma-chan? I remember it well. I had to go there for something quite a while back.
Sorry, I don't really remember.
It was locked up so tight it was scary. There were these real heavy bars holding it shut. It was sealed up as good as a bank vault. This year it was very simple and cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika Furude, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor, who had replaced it with a simpler padlock. So then the mayor and Rika Furude share the crime? So then after the mayor, would Rika Furude be in danger next? There's a decent possibility. Koma-chan, I want you to contact all the cars that we have in Hinamizawa. Tell them to stick near the Furude shrine.
Got it!
Okay, more shit that we already know. Okay, I think these are the four new ones. Let's wrap it up quickly.
The Sonozaki family.
The one to drastically expand its influence after the war was the Sonozaki family, but we already know this. The leader of the time was Oru Sonozaki, who still has the seat today. Oru Sonozaki has grown old, and today you can only catch a glimpse of who she was at the time. From what I had been told, however, she was a leader extolled at the best in history. Having been so old, aside from going out a few times a week for lessons, she spends her time at home in solitude, and she seems to leave most of the ceremony affairs to her heir, Mion. There are different views on why the successor was not her daughter, but her granddaughter Mion, but it's rumored that it has to do with disownment of her daughter and son-in-law. Why did she do that? The uninhabitable granddaughter, Mion Sonozaki, still shows no signs of the dignity required of the next leader. However, she does have Sonozaki blood in her veins and is permitted to the name Demon. She still doubtlessly requires caution and is probably hiding her fangs and claws, as skillful as the leaders of the past did. Okay, we didn't learn too much from that, other than apparently Mion's mom was disowned for some reason.
Yes, the postal worker hasn't seen anything either. Sonozaki main house has their seal hanging from their mailbox so that anyone can stamp their mail or parcels with it and drop it in.
That's rather careless of them. So, when was she last seen?
She was last seen at the Watanagashi opening ceremony greetings. She apparently returned home right after that.
Well, she is pretty old. From what I've heard, she goes out a few times a week to take lessons, right? Have you found anything out about that?
Yeah, every Monday she goes to the assembly hall to practice the Taishugoto. But she didn't go this week.
Any calls to say she wasn't going to be there? Has anyone confirmed it?
No, nobody. She apparently takes days off once in a while, though, so no one thought it was strange.
Tomorrow, why don't we pretend we're in the town hall and call around 10 o'clock? Please figure out whether she's at home.
10 o'clock? Got it.
Ever since it started to seem more and more like ancient Hinamizawa traditions had something to do with all this, he'd have been keeping a careful eye on the three families. At this point, the leader of the Kimiyoshi family and the leader of the Furude family had disappeared. There was only one leader left. Oru Shonozaki, the leader of the Sonozaki family. She was apparently a pretty old woman. Her dignity hasn't waned, but she still only appeared before people rarely, so it was difficult to confirm where she was at any given time. She, the last leader, hadn't been seen since the day of the Watanagashi. Was she still alive and well within the Sonozaki main house? Or had she... According to Mion Sonozaki, she had fallen ill and was sleeping it off.
I wonder if she's really sleeping. I'd like to take a look at her face-to-face, and her pulse.
You can say that again. Two of them breathed out a big puff of cigarette smoke.
Oshi-san, about the search warrants for the Sonozaki main house and the Furude shrine. Do you think we'll get them?
Oshi-san didn't respond, exhaled another cloud of tobacco smoke, his surroundings now as foggy as his mind. Okay. So, Oru, Mion's grandma, has not been seen since the Watanagashi. That's interesting. I'm going to bark really loud in a second. Told you. The hidden demon. The inhabitants of Hinamizawa believe that the blood of demons flows in their blood. As such, the character of demon, that, is treated as very sacred. For example, usage of the character that in names is apparently a right reserved for only the leaders of the Kimiyoshi and the Sonozaki families. Case in point, we can see it in the current Sonozaki family leader's name, Oru, who is written with the character that. This and only this is proof that she is legitimate leader of the Sonozaki family. In the same way, Mion Sonozaki is successor. It contains that in her name, with Mi being written as that. It also goes for Oru's daughter, Mion's mother, Akane, who did not succeed her. It's known that before the disowning of Akane's name was actually written as that, though it was changed afterwards to that, it's still read as Akane. Incidentally, it's thought that the first character of the mayor, Kichiro's name, that, originally meant demon, which can only be read as Ki. It should be said that names using the character that are limited only to successors of the Sonozaki family. You can even find it in the last names of three families. For example, the characters of Kimiyoshi, those are likely split up versions of that, so you can write it in reverse top to bottom as... Okay. It clearly resembles the character, that. So, as for the Furude family, those... I hope everybody's looking at the screen right now, who have been in the Shinto priesthood for generations. The word for fortune teller can be written without the interval characters as that. I think that with the addition of the demon's horns, the tick on the top of the character, those become the that is used in their name now. In the case of Sonozaki family, where Sonozaki is written as that, I can't find any reference to the character that, perhaps because it's already ingrained in their first names. They were the clan responsible for running the Watanagashi ceremony, so I think that instead they included the contents of that ceremony for their last name. Or they changed it. I'm going to start theory crafting right now. They probably changed it to, just get off all the public pressure that they were getting for, being the people who fucking went out and kidnapped kids and fucking killed a bunch of people, I mean, like, they probably were like, maybe we should scrub out the demon on our name. So, I don't know. But they still, like, keep it as a tradition and name their first kids with the demon letter or whatever. Anyway. The zaki in sonozaki is a conjugation of the word for slice and sono, written as that, probably contains the hidden meaning of human body as it is a complicated mess, organs enclosed by 4 sides. Okay, that's kind of cool. I think in other words, the sonozaki comes from those who slice open the gut. They're the people who carry out the revenge or whatever. Okay, we got one last one.
I'm back!
How'd it go? Did you find any clues? The officers shook their heads in disappointment. Exhaustion was painfully showing on everyone's faces. That was only natural. None of them had gotten a wink of sleep since the day of the Watanagashi.
Chief, let the youngest of us take a nap and then switch them out. We've got a long stretch ahead of us after all. Let's not push ourselves too hard. Rest up so we can take it easy as we go. And do you think we could get a juice box with our recess?
What the fuck are you talking about? You're a police officer. I've been telling them to sleep in shifts. Nobody actually seems willing to sleep, though. Could you tell them yourself, Oshi-san? Oh, wait, Oshi-san said that. Oshi, what are you talking about, Oshi? Oh, my. You don't need to force yourselves. Komiyama-kun, please let everyone sleep in shifts, starting with the youngest.
Komiyama-san, please do that.
After the chief told him as well, Komiyama-san and left his seat. So, Chief, still no good on our requests?
It's just a rumor among the villagers. In the first place, it's going to be difficult without more concrete evidence.
Even with the evidence might be tucked away in there?
We need evidence. That evidence is tucked away in there.
Chief, don't start speaking in riddles to me now. We have witnesses that say 4 people, including the 2 who died, went into the forbidden ritual storehouse without permission. This is all reliable information.
You might call it information, but they're really only rumors. They're not concrete evidence.
Well, it's true that we don't have any pictures of the 4 of them sneaking in with cloth tied around their heads. Anyway, these 4 saw something inside the storehouse. Something important enough that they'd be erased.
Important enough that they would be erased? What would that be exactly?
That's why I'm asking for a warrant to go looking for it in the first place. Anything pointing out the Sonozaki family's connection to the violent organizations would be a major contender. Like a pile of Tokarovs, or a secret poppy production facility. Where would they fucking have a secret poppy production facility? What are you talking about? You need, like, giant open fields for that, don't you? The secret Sonozaki family fortune would also be pretty difficult to discard.
Look, Oshi-san, I know how you feel. However, that storehouse is a sacred building belonging to the Furude Shrine, and we need to have proper consideration for the locals when dealing with it.
I heard that there was an hour-long call made from Congressman Sonozaki to the big man. Chief, could he have nailed you back down? Anyway, as long as we don't have suitable evidence, we won't get a search warrant for the storehouse. That goes for the Sonozaki main house, too, especially considering there's a jurisdiction of both Section 4 of the Prefectural Police's Crime Prevention Division. We need careful preparations first. If you say you need preparations, then why don't you just let me talk to them directly? Shige-chan is the head of Section 4, right? 4 Crime Prevention is Yamaomi-san. They seem like they'd be quicker to talk if I sat them down at a mahjong table.
Chief, you have a visitor! Yikes!
Pushing the employee who guided him right out of the way, he was an old man who looked like a Yakuza member given the crested kimono and hakama. Did he not get enough of this over the phone? Gotta think of...
I'm Congressman Sonozaki. I demand to know who's responsible for this. This instant.
It's my mob boss voice.
Hello, I am the Division Chief Takasugi.
I don't need your name. I could have demoted on a whim. I could have you demoted on a whim. You wouldn't even be enough. Bring out the one called Oshi or whatever. He deserves punishment for requesting a search warrant at the sacred Furude shrine.
I sincerely apologize. Oshi-san is currently out on an investigation. He's been difficult to contact. I'll take his place and hear you out. So please have a seat.
The chief's eyes were telling me to get out of here. Perhaps I'll gratefully accept this favor. Maybe I'll go lay down in the nap room.
Listen here. Furude Shrine spent 26,000 years on the imperial calendar and 25 more beyond that. It is sacred, a sanctuary that must never be defiled.
The 800,000 gods. 800,000 gods?
The 800,000 gods, Urashiro-sama, and the spirits of the ancestors are enshrined there. The holy shrine protects Hinamizawa from when the sun comes up to when it sets, and from when the moon rises to when it falls. Who is the idiot who wanted to set foot in there? Besides, the right to religion is the most reserved right of the people in this country in the Constitution. You dare to be so bold as to sully that using your own investigation negligence as pretext? I will not allow it. Are you listening, you lying scum? I'm angry now, so you're not getting off the hook that easily.
Well, okay, that about does that. We're gonna go ahead and save. So you might have heard some pen scratchings in the background a little bit. That was my girlfriend, Lily. She's a super talented artist, and I want her to show off her drawings.
It's not done.
Look at that. Amazing, right? You want to say anything else?
Fuck Keiichi-kun.
Fuck Keiichi-kun. Wow. What a smart girl. Anyway, I hope you appreciated that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.